Conspiranormal Podcast proudly presents the Strange Realities Conference. Strange Realities. Come join us for one day of presentations on the paranormal with live music at night featuring Tim Banal,
The Rise and Fall of the Flat Earth Theory,
Joshua Cutchin,
Alien Hybrid Lore,
Joe Damari,
Pushing the Limits of Reality,
Guy Malone,
Roswell 1947, What Really Happened,
Timothy Renner,
Pennsylvania Wildman,
and added to the lineup, Mark Anthony Wyatt,
Cornish Legends and UFO Sightings,
Zach Hunt.
Presentation of his book Unraptured,
Followed by a live recording of the Conspiranormal Podcast. More speakers and music acts to be announced. October 19, 2019, SIR Nashville.
Tickets and info at www.strangerealitiesconference.com. $40 at the door, $30 pre-sale.
Barely.
So it did come through.
Fucking thing sucks. We'll do it live. Okay.
Cruising with Steve. Get in, sit down, buckle up. Cruising with Steve. Get in, sit down, buckle up. Cruising with Steve.
Welcome back to Cruising with Steak. Gripsteak here. Tuesday night, streaming live on Grimerica FM. It is October 8th, 2019. It's fall, people. It's Spooktober. We got people here tonight. God, I should plan these out. I got my main squeeze, my number man one guy here, Mr. James Cruz, coming here.
We're going to have a lot of fun tonight.
Yes, we are. Yes, we are. Oh, man. Okay. God, I usually have an order to this. Jerry's not here. Felix is... When we also got Mr. That Guy with us.
You've reached the Hillary for President donation line. For Ukrainian, press 1. For Mandarin, press 2. For Farsi, press 3.
This guy. Or that guy. And we've also got Miss Suzanne with us.
Hello.
Hey.
Hello.
And we also got B-Strut. B-Strut.
Hey guys, good to see you again.
Great to see you, buddy. And we also got Mellow Horace.
Yo, yo, yo.
Hey.
Yeah.
And
Did you just call me a yo-yo?
And coming in out of nowhere, we got Mr. Gordon Roop with us tonight. Damn, I knew this was going to happen. We can never have a flawless intro where everybody's things are working. Oh yeah, Gordon's down. Gordon's down there. I don't know. He's very silent.
Oh, this
It doesn't exist, folks.
Oh, I think I heard him say this fucking microphone. He's cursing his mic.
I am.
Oh, he's there. I hear him.
He's there. You're very
Can
quiet,
you?
Gordon. You're very
Barely.
quiet, but you're there.
I mean, I can hear you, but
Mother puss bucket.
oh, it's getting louder.
A little bit. You
How's it?
just got to be pissed and screaming the whole time, I guess.
Oh,
It
so
sort of sounds like Gordon.
I got to do my Rush Limbaugh impression.
There you go.
Let's
You're
have
coming
it.
in.
Okay.
Man, so here we are, guys. Tuesday. Cruising with Steak. Coming at you. Spooky season. We had Marty Leeds on last week. So I feel like it's been like forever since we've just talked about nothing. Just
What a
shot the
wild
shit,
ride.
You know? That was a wild ride with Marty.
It was super good.
That was.
Yeah,
Yeah.
great interview.
Oh,
It was
yeah,
fun,
thank
man. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. I mean,
Oh,
he's on another level, dude, which is great. So, but I don't know. It was really cool to get a chance to talk to him, man. Yeah, I've
Mhm.
heard of that dude forever.
Yeah, it was like one of my, I could almost die happy now. One of my dreams come true, man.
you. Yeah, dude, you booked that. You booked him, Bill.
What I say.
Yeah.
Appreciate you booking that.
No doubt, dude. Yeah, you get a leather jacket. It's in the mail.
Awesome.
Yeah.
We should do that. Cruising with
know.
Steak, embroidered leather jackets.
Oh my god.
You get like a motorcycle club, maybe?
Yes.
Oh yeah.
I like
The
it.
outlaw biker gang patch, the
Yeah.
3-bar patch in the back. Yeah.
I like where this
Yeah.
is going.
The bitch fell off. Yeah, stuff like that. Yeah.
Mrs. That Guy would chop me up into little pieces. You'd never see the body again.
Yeah, I mean, I love motorcycles. I would like to build them and work on them and stuff, and but I would not be an avid rider. That shit fucking scares.
My coat would say.
James, I wouldn't allow you to ride a motorcycle with your history of
No doubt.
sport.
Car
of
crash
just-
cruise,
Yeah,
dude.
your James car crash
man.
cruise. No way.
Mrs. That guy's an avid rider. She just wouldn't like the bitch fell off thing.
Well, I am too. Mine would have to say the dickhead fell off.
Yeah, exactly.
But, yeah.
The dick.
Thanks to everybody listening live out there right now. We got some things. Everybody in the chats. Chats are quiet right now, but I know they're there. I know they're there. And,
Thank you very much.
We can hear him breathing.
oh, also, another order of business. James actually got all the CryptidCon audio. It's all wrapped up
I
and
couldn't
together.
remember if I sent it to you guys. or
No,
not.
dude, you totally
that's
did.
Not
You-
even
you-
that's
yeah,
not
you-
even all of it.
you zipped a ton of it. There's hours and hours of audio, and I'm off on Thursday, so I'm gonna sift through some of that.
Yeah, it's pretty
and we'll
good.
see what's going on. I could imagine there's a lot of it just us drunken talking and hanging
I
out
can
while you just
take
left
a
the recorder on.
I can take a screenshot of I wrote down like the names and the clips and stuff, and because it's just a shitload of data right there. But like,
What just happened? We just spiked up like 15 listeners out of nowhere. What's
Whoa.
going on out here, people?
You mentioned CryptidCon. Everybody came running.
I'm gonna mention China. Yeah.
China.
And maybe
China.
Japan,
China.
Yeah.
Mexico.
Mexico.
Yeah. So maybe we can get a real big spike now. All our Mexican listeners out there.
You need to summons Jerry.
Jerry's MIA. I don't know where he is.
Did you summons him?
He's in the chat room.
Well, he's ever existent. He's omnipresent.
He's everywhere.
But you
at the
have
same
the
time.
ultimate summoning power.
Yeah.
Mm,
I know
out of
it's
everyone
weird.
here, so it is weird.
I mean,
I don't know if
every
it's
time
gonna
I
work,
have
though.
My talent, my money, or especially
I don't know if it'll
my
work since you cued me for it, though, Suzanne.
Oh,
it's a
sorry.
magic that has to happen naturally.
See, you jinxed
Darn
him.
it.
You jinxed
every
him.
time I summon Jerry, I have to use a bucket of chicken.
Oh, you have to. Bucket of chicken blood.
Yeah, no, just a bucket of chicken, like extra crispy or the original recipe works pretty well, but he sometimes gives it he doesn't want to do it.
And if you're trying to do it late night, it has to be the Chipotle.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Dude, I haven't had that in forever.
Dude,
Chipotle is good.
Get that.
I know it's good. I just had never. My wife and my youngest son, they go. He goes to a tutor, and after that, they go to Chipotle.
Well, Chipotle is McDonald's. You know that, right?
Oh, really?
Yeah.
They
Yeah,
bought
it's
him out or
the same
something.
thing. Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Hold on. But McDonald's will serve gays and Chipotle doesn't, right?
What?
No,
What?
that's Chick-fil-A.
Oh, wait, that's Chick-fil-A.
Yeah, I'm like, wait, what?
Wait a minute. No, Chick-fil-A doesn't serve, but I did get you guys to admit Chick-fil-A doesn't serve gays. So.
Yes.
Oh, no,
And
I've been knowing
Chipotle
that.
only serves gays. Yeah,
Strictly-
what? Oh.
Shout out
and they're
to
not on Sundays.
Yeah, but you know what? They started opening new stores after that. That skyrocketed their exposure and probably their sales. Oh, well, I know
their
it's their
stock
sales.
thing,
They're
it
opening
plummeted.
stuff. Yeah,
Yeah, and then you buy.
Mm-hmm.
but no, they're opening new stores and stuff. It's just like promoted them.
Yep.
You know that.
Creepy.
There's no such thing as bad publicity.
That's what I was trying to think of.
Just make sure they spell the name right.
Exactly.
I
Don't
think
call
that
it Chipotle.
Yeah.
I think that the lines got like way fucking longer too.
Eat longer than they already are.
Every time I go there, it's wrapped around the building, and now they did this thing to where there's people that stand outside and they have
There
like
he
a
is.
tablet, and they like stand outside and like they take your order, and there's two fucking lanes that
That's how.
turn.
Are you talking about Chipotle or
straight into
Chick-fil-A?
Chick-fil-A.
The fucking Chick-fil-A.
My bad. Yeah. So
Oh my
yeah,
God.
for sure they have that here too. Yeah, it's
Like in
ridiculous.
the mall or at like a
Just in a
restaurant?
shopping strip
drive-thru,
or whatever. Yeah, wherever
The
they're at.
drive-thru?
Lions.
No,
Yeah,
There's
fucking drive-thru.
there's a lane on the highway, the special lane on the highway. This is Chick-fil-A lane.
No, they did
That's a good
a
idea.
poll recently, and it's the slowest Chick-fil-A in the entire chain is in the Bay Area, in the San
No way.
Francisco Bay Area. Yeah, it was on a few different news websites out here in Colorado. It's called KRDO, and they had the little snippet about it. And of course, I'm like, of course, it has to be in the Bay Area, right?
The slowest time.
It's all the
We'll
stuff.
get you food when
Super
we
gay
fucking
there.
want.
It's
Well, no,
true. it's true.
It's somewhere like in Livermore or somewhere like that. I
Oh,
forgot.
Livermore's pretty gay.
Very gay.
Livermore's
What's up, Jared?
There's nothing out there but
Gay.
cows and atom smashers.
Oh, baloney. There's a ton of stuff out there now.
Baloney.
Yeah, they got Livermore
That
laugh.
makes common sense.
Your mom's out there.
There we go. What's up, Jerry?
There.
Nothing. I was sleeping. I'm sorry.
Dude, I was gonna say that.
And
I was
fucking-
Glad you're all right.
Fucking
Dude,
Chick-fil-A lines
Me
are
too.
outrageous. I never go there. I do not give
never
them my
been.
money.
Yeah.
Do not support Chick-fil-A.
Don't support Chick-fil-A because their lines are too long.
No, I don't. That's not it. I don't eat chicken. I don't eat birds.
That's how.
Birds
Okay,
aren't real,
you know,
dude. Birds
no,
aren't real. They're fucking
I
mechanical robots.
understand that because I don't eat anything out of the sea. Like I don't eat fish or ocean things.
Oh,
Shrimp,
I eat
fish,
fish.
get it all out of here.
Oh,
Get your
man.
I'll eat
ocean
some
stuff
fish,
out of here.
Oh,
Dude,
no,
dude.
I love me my calamari, man.
I'll eat anything. I'll eat
Oh, I
anything
love
that doesn't eat me
calamari.
first.
Hey.
I'll eat anything. I don't eat birds. Although
But land animals?
I'll eat.
Yeah, what
I
about
eat-
turkey?
Don't eat it. Don't eat chicken. I don't eat turkey. I will eat a duck once in a while.
That's a bird.
Speaking of
I
turkey,
haven't had a duck in 20 years. Okay. I'm
speaking of
saying, I don't
turkey,
eat-
I
You're a
can't
fucking
wait.
hypocrite, Jerry.
I can't wait to come to your family's Thanksgiving, Jerry.
Oh, I can't wait.
You guys are gonna come with a pizza.
Having
A
turkey.
duck pizza.
Yeah.
Come on my pizza.
Having
No way.
turkey.
They go to swanky restaurants.
Yeah, we're going out. What are you talking about?
Oh, you guys.
There's some steak place
Nice.
last year.
Yeah, it was killer.
Yeah.
Oh, that's way better
Man, I
than
can't wait.
It was like
Yeah.
$75 a plate. It was outrageous.
Here's your Thanksgiving meatloaf.
Yeah.
Yes.
No meatloaf. It was like escargot and pate.
Didn't you have a big steak?
Oh, I could totally do that. I could
Escargot
really
and
do honest
pate.
Fucking
I thought you had a
ago.
big steak. There was a whole thing about.
Do I need to
what
do I need
you
to
were
wear my
gonna eat.
ascot?
What restaurant you were
Now,
going to
just,
go to?
just wear your ass, Grim.
I
Just
have,
wear your ass.
I have no idea what it was. I don't remember now. It was a place in like fuck. I
I
don't
know,
know.
but somebody
It was
didn't want to
downtown.
go. You
It
guys
was
couldn't.
downtown
Yeah,
Chicago.
it was funny.
Yeah, I didn't want to go. It was
Yeah.
insane. I would much rather stay at home and cook dinner for my family
But Jared,
Yeah.
go
But
to a
Jared,
restaurant.
I'm gonna be there with you this year.
I
We're
know,
gonna have
well-
a blast.
I just got drunk and made an ass of myself.
Oh, I can't wait to do it with you because I'll never see anybody in your family again. I'm gonna have a blast.
I yelled at my sister. It was so. I felt bad. Whatever.
I want the security camera video.
Well, I
we
said
just
somebody
tap
was a
into his phone.
retard and started giving me shit. Like, don't say that word. I'm like, fucking
When
don't
you were
tell me when
live.
to-
Just tap into his phone, man.
He was live streaming it. I think it was Christmas. and
Oh,
somebody goes,
yeah.
"Are you live streaming this?" He's like, "Yes, it was."
They don't have my talent, my
Yeah, and my,
so funny.
my good looks.
my nephew got a Dick's
Yes.
card or something. Dick's.
Dicks.
And I said, how many dicks you going to get with that now?
Oh, speaking of that, you see, they said they destroyed 5 point. What? Yeah, you sent a Twitter
Yeah,
tweet
I don't
out.
fucking believe it.
Yeah.
That's what I love about Jared, zooming through the world, Mach 6, balls out, and his mouth wide open. Man, I
Exactly.
freaking love it.
It's hilarious. Oh my gosh.
What was
Yeah,
that?
well, I don't give a shit.
I know.
Fortune
I
favors the
love
bold.
it.
Hey, you know, do you guys know Henny Youngman?
Oh yeah, take my
Who?
wife, please.
He's an old man and a young man. And you know, Gary Oldman,
Yes,
he's a young man.
man and an old man.
And there's Paul Newman, he's an old man.
Wow.
Dick's Sporting Goods destroys $5 million worth of guns it pulled from its stores. The CEO says, if we really think these things should be off the street, we need to destroy them.
Who
You
paid
said-
for it?
I don't know. That's
No, they
amazing.
did.
They did. They
They did.
destroyed their inventory.
They took it as a loss.
Right.
They took it as a loss.
They're probably like
so they
defective
wrote it
things.
off on
Prove
their
it.
taxes.
On their taxes,
Prove
yes.
it. Oh.
It's literally a government buyback.
Yep, that's right.
Prove it.
You
In
said
response
Dick.
to the Stoneman
what,
Douglas
Jer?
school
But they wrote it off for real. I want to see it.
Well, what do you think they did with the loss of?
What loss?
You think they
Where's
did it?
Evidence of destruction of property.
Oh, okay. You don't think that they
Yeah,
destroyed them?
Yeah, you do have to have
Destroyed on
evidence.
paper.
No, you
They
don't.
don't even sell guns anymore.
They don't need
Show 'em
evidence. They
black
just pay their fucking taxes.
It says they
If they
destroyed
get
5
audited, they
million
have to
worth
show
of-
that they have to show that it was damaged or destroyed.
No,
Good luck.
I'm with Jerry. I mean, they have it destroyed on paper. That's pretty much
Right.
what they have.
paper. Yeah.
They
Yeah,
could
right
just
through the
as
machine.
easily have canceled a $5 million order for guns and say
Oh, that's true. That is true.
True. There you go.
But a $5 million order cancellation is not destruction.
But they could claim
Oh,
it
the
is.
order to cancel it. Well,
It was like a
says-
spider on my leg or something. It freaked me out.
in response
Brown
to
recluse.
the Stoneman Douglas shooting in Parkland, the sporting goods retailer has significantly scaled back its gun business. It stopped selling guns to customers younger than 21 and removed assault rifles and high-capacity magazines from all of its stores in February of 2018. In April of 2018, the spokesperson said that it was in the process of destroying all firearms and accessories in the result of policy change. Holy crap. I didn't know they stopped selling guns. Well, they stopped selling firearms at 125 locations, roughly 17% of its stores.
Yeah.
Here, I'm throwing that drive-through article into the chat. Apparently, Dunkin' Donuts is the fastest.
Oh, yeah. They're fast. They just got to microwave your shit real quick.
Yeah, they are super fast.
Yeah. Oh, shit.
Yeah, I don't know if you guys read about it. It happened today about the mysterious family of 5 that
Wait, what was
that were killed in I think it was Michigan.
I remember seeing 5. Yeah, something about 5
Now
people.
tell us what's going on.
Yeah, man.
Well, that's the whole thing is nobody knows what's going on.
Oh, shit.
No, give us the QRD. How did we get to?
No.
Give us the QRD. How do we get here from? Did you hear about?
I was thinking Chick-fil-A, dead things. No, I'm kidding.
Dead thing, Chick-fil-A, dead things.
5 dead people in a Chick-fil-A? No.
Yeah.
Pennsylvania, a Pennsylvania family of 5, including 3 children, were found dead in their condo, and nobody is releasing anything. Apparently, they were all killed by gunshot wounds. Police are reluctant to say whether it was a murder-suicide or not. The mother
Sounds like
Doesn't exist, folks.
The mother was found by the front door. The father was found toward the back door, and the kids were in between.
That's
Definitely Clinton style.
That's here. Let's see. Hold on.
That's amazing.
Here, I'll put that. I'll put that in chat too.
So everyone's dead. No crazy. No motives. No anything. Yeah.
Yeah, and they weren't even gonna, release the fact that they were dead, but it was released on accident.
Oops.
I don't know how you accidentally go, oh yeah, by the way, Family 5's dead. In other news,
Yes. Here's Bill with snooker highlights.
Yeah, right. Yeah, but I'd read about that earlier, and I tried to find some updates, but nothing's been updated since this afternoon.
Weird.
Imagine this: Americans across party lines support gun violence or support reducing gun violence. Yeah, imagine that.
What people don't want gun violence?
Yeah, I didn't understand. What?
Never mind. Sorry.
But that's the whole reason you wanted to buy a gun was just for gun violence. That's what you're supporting.
Be a man and use a fucking spear.
Yes. No.
I just want to make sure I'm not part of it.
We need to confiscate all spears. I don't appreciate the spear violence in this country.
I don't know that what would happen if we all reverted back to like knives and spears and bows and arrows.
There'd be a lot of people getting stabbed and poked instead of getting shot because no matter what, human beings are just going to fight amongst each other.
I
That's
think
what
it'd
we
be
do.
a lot more entertaining though. It'd be like,
Well, you'd be rolling 2d4 instead of 1d20. I mean, come on.
Yes, exactly. Even though you don't roll d20s for damage, that guy, but that's all right. I'll let this one slide.
I think it'd be like the Hunger Games in real life. It'd be awesome. I mean, I could think of at least 4 of my neighbors who I could put an arrow through.
Hunger Games, or what was before Hunger Games? Battle Royale, that old Japanese movie. Oh, dude, that was great. All those Japanese kids, they get thrown on an island. Shit was crazy.
Oh, I remember that.
Yeah, Battle Royale. Battle Royale 2 was so good. They were so good. It came around. They came up.
One.
Yeah, the second one was awesome. It was basically the same exact plot. They just wanted to murder more kids on screen. But dude, it was good stuff.
Well, one does what one can.
Yes, they do.
Twice the dead children.
Did anyone ever read the books, the Hunger Game books?
No, what do I look like? Some kind of queer? Come on, James.
No, dude, I'm saying. I mean, I'm just like, because I thought I heard that the books were like super violent. Like,
yeah, I mean, I know I use
genocide.
I know I use an iPhone, but I'm not fully gay yet. Come on, man.
Reading a book. What kind of fag do you think I am?
Come on.
Man?
Speaking of, you got a new book out, Gordon?
Oh, hey, you know what? I'm so glad you mentioned it. I actually do.
Transition. Boom.
dude,
bam.
You observe a Peabody for that.
No, fucking, it was great. Because it's the erotica book, so I got like 16 nude selfies in a row. It was awesome.
All right, that's cool.
Yeah, I've got an email account full of like booby pics. It was
so
great.
So you released an erotica book or a new erotica book because this is one of your genres that you do.
Yeah,
it's volume 2. Yeah, and there's a story up your alley in there, Steve Steak.
Is it Bigfoot erotica?
Kind of.
Oh no,
dude! If you do Bigfoot erotica, well, I will read a segment from it on every single show.
No, I'm gonna give you the synopsis. I'm not gonna. But a woman goes into the woods and she finds out that the woods are possessed.
Okay.
And I don't really want to give away too much.
Okay, that's good enough for me. So there's possessed woods.
But a tree comes to life in the form of a man, and yeah.
Yeah.
I laughed, I cried, I ran a gambit of emotions.
Guys, I heard from Felix through text message. He says he's got to miss another show, and then he asks if we're able to manage without him. But just a Felix update. He's still alive. He's well.
Yep.
He's just bettering himself right now. He'll be on future shows. SirFelix.bandcamp.com.
himself by not being on this show. That's what's going on.
Okay.
Did you tell him you could manage because you got a new iPhone?
Yeah, I did. And I'm super gay because of it. Because that's what they do.
Stop with the gay bashing.
I'm just saying that's what I read an article this week.
Why don't you pick on women or something?
Or you know.
I want to do misogyny.
Tramps, dames, gashes.
Pick on
broads.
Scoits.
Pick on tripedals. Pick something unusual. Bipedals. I mean, anybody can pick on bipedals. Pick on tripedals.
Tandem bikes really piss me off.
Because I see these fuckers going to school every morning with their kid on the back with these little tow-along tandem things.
Yeah, who the fuck do they think they are, man? I mean,
they're all sitting there with their coffee at the stoplight.
I've got 4 pedals and you don't.
Yeah. I see these.
Who's drilling right now? What is going on?
I'm just putting up some drywall.
That guy.
This is a drill. This is a drill.
Wow. Boom.
What is this? A home improvement podcast?
God, I wish Al Borland was here.
No, this is 3D printer construction 101.
It's an active podcaster drill.
Yeah.
Can we all talk about how great of a American hero Tim Allen is, and just from rags to riches? He got arrested in the 80s for just huge cocaine sales, and then he made it back to be a stand-up comedian and get his own sitcom, be a movie star.
Did they ever finish that car?
He's king of the alt-right.
It was sales and he was an addict.
Wait. And then made the best Star Trek movie ever made.
Galaxy Quest is the best.
Galaxy Quest, dude.
Never give up, never surrender.
Speaking of Galaxy Quest, it's Sigourney Weaver's 70th birthday today.
Oh
Man,
man!
happy birthday, Sigourney.
Did you know that Alien came out when I was
She
born?
still looks really good.
Do you remember when Louis
78.
C.K. had to fuck? What was it, Phyllis Diller?
I do not.
He got close to some old comedian and it was Joan Rivers.
Oh wow!
He had to like do Joan Rivers to get a gig. Anyway, I'm sorry.
Not with a stolen dick.
Wow.
Yeah, you do what you got to do to get into Hollywood. It's the
No, it
business.
was in his show. It was a comedy bit. It was funny.
I read the other day that Rip Taylor died. Do you remember Rip Taylor?
Yes, he did.
Oh, yeah. I
yeah.
remember the name. I don't remember.
He used to be on like all the game shows, and he'd throw out tons of confetti, and
had a goofy laugh. Super gay.
And so I posited, instead of being cremated, do you think it's just going to be an urn full of confetti? Because that's all he did. He was known. He had a big bag, like on the Gong Show. He had a huge bag of confetti, and But anyway,
remember the $1.98 beauty contest?
No.
That was the show he hosted.
Wow.
I don't think I ever saw that.
It was like the Gong Show meets beauty contest.
Oh. Not ringing a bell.
With
He
confetti.
was also the guy that was at the end of the Jackass films. That was like, the movie's over. The movie's over.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, he was like popular like after Laughing for a bit. When that shit was popular. When that was entertainment.
A couple other people died this week too, didn't they? I remember seeing a lot of RIPs on Twitter.
Yeah, the drummer for Cream, he died.
Ginger Baker?
Yeah.
He did.
Yeah, he passed.
He died years ago.
There was someone else who passed, and everyone's like, "Oh my God, it's someone unexpected." And the person in question, I can't remember who it was, but they were like 84 years old and had cancer. And I'm like, "Where's the fucking surprise?"
Oh, David Bowie.
Mm-hmm.
Well, they resurrected Jimmy Carter this week and wheeled him out to build a house
with
the black eye.
With the black eye. Oh, symbolism,
What did
baby.
you determine that was? Right? The black eye
I parroted what I found on the internet like a good, slave.
But exactly, but what does it mean?
What was it?
Why are all these old elites, these scumbags, they all just get wheeled out with left black eyes or something?
Yeah.
What's with the black eye?
The two things I read were either it's a badge of honor for this person,
or an initiation,
or a public shaming.
Oh, public shaming. That's right.
A pillory.
Look at that guy. He's got a totally different take. I'm watching his facial expressions.
No,
it's absolutely nothing. It's just coincidence.
It was.
It's most people are right-handed, and when you punch somebody, you punch with your right hand, and most of the time, if you're aiming at somebody's face, it lands on their right eye.
Well,
Who the hell's gonna punch Jimmy Carter?
Thank you, Suzanne.
Who wouldn't punch Jimmy Carter?
No. People aren't
someone with a peanut allergy?
I'd kick him in his peanut.
People aren't swinging on old men. Unless, they are. In those knockout videos.
Rosalind's really got to be pissed off with him if she's going to clock him like that.
I looked it up. It was Diane Carroll who passed. She was 84 years old, and she had been having a cancer battle.
Diane Carroll.
Yeah,
maybe
Dynasty.
Yeah.
Yep.
Maybe Diane Carroll punched Jimmy Carter.
But we don't know.
Wasn't she a singer too?
Yeah, she was a singer. She was an actress.
That's what I thought.
Yeah,
she did all kinds of stuff.
She was an author.
Talented.
She was an author. She was very well-rounded when it came to the media.
Yeah. Boxer?
No. I don't think so. No,
probably not a boxer.
No. Oh, now it just got really quiet. What the fuck?
That's the magic of this show. One second, every single one of us are screaming over each other, and the next second, there's complete silence.
What was it?
It's that guy. I'm telling you, it's the that guy effect. I say something stupid, and everybody's like, "Holy shit! Did he just say
Black
that?"
Eye Club. We got a link. Mellow Horse. Thank you.
You guys would be surprised how many people have died already.
Yeah, man. If you guys got stories, if you're in the chats, throw them in.
Well, you know what's crazy? Every single human being that's ever existed before, like the last 70 years or something, they all died too. It's nuts.
So now, Rip Taylor was 88.
Yep.
Not 84.
No, but the Rip thing that reminded me. You Rip Torn died recently, also.
Yes, last month.
And my wife likes to continuously point out that when I impersonate my father-in-law, I impersonate Rip Torn. And I'm like, I do? And she's like, you sound like Will Smith from Men in Black. I'm like, okay.
Is Rip Torn your father-in-law?
He might be. I don't know. We'll be at a restaurant sitting there, and he'll be like, "Jesus Christ, look at the tits on her," and it's like, "Oh my God, she can hear you, right?"
Oh.
And he'll be like, "I don't care if she can hear me. Hey, sweetie, you got a nice set." And it's like, "Oh my God, Dad, what are you doing?"
So I have to ask, am I your father-in-law?
No, you got way more hair than he does.
I do have two.
See, but it's horrible going out. I mean, it's fun going out in public with him because it's a spectacle.
You never know what you're gonna get.
My dad got thrown at a Dairy Queen in the freaking mall.
How did he do that?
Because the girl couldn't. He said the order too fast. It was some new girl, and he couldn't believe. She was trying to do the register and take his order, and so she wasn't fast enough. And then she couldn't count back the change. Oh my gosh.
Oh boy.
So I guess he reduced her to crying, trying to teach her how to count back the change. It was not very nice. So they told him. So he got kicked out of Dairy Queen, and we had to leave the mall. But I was an adult, so I think I was like 45.
I don't think I'm sad to say I don't think I've ever been kicked out of any place. That's disappointing. Now that I think about it.
Give it another 10 years, Steve. You'll be there.
Yeah, maybe it's possible.
Failed the drug test for weed.
Whoa!
What? You got kicked out of school?
Hold on. Why was your school drug testing you?
Yeah, I was like, wait a minute.
So supposedly it was a quote unquote random test. Yet me and everybody that I was friends with, which was like 4 or 5 guys or whatever, we all got a fucking test within the same 3 or 4 weeks.
Another question: how often are schools giving kids random drug tests?
Why are they giving kids random drug tests?
And did you say supposedly? Is that what I just heard? Supposedly?
I let it slide.
Don't do it.
I'm used to it. John always says supposedly.
No, dude, but that's so a Christian school. So they allow it in Christian schools then. This just blows my mind. I don't feel like a school has any authority to drug test anybody.
Yeah,
that should be under the hands of the kid or the parents.
It's-
That's crazy.
Yeah, but private schools they have complete autonomy. Like when I went to Catholic school, and I think I've told this story before. I mean, because of my epilepsy, I was called an abomination by a priest and a nun.
Did they try to exorcise you?
No, because I was never baptized.
Oh, me neither. Nice.
And so it was a matter of, because they're a private school, there's nothing we could do or say to make them accept me into their school.
Wait a minute. Let me back up for a second. Hang on a second. They didn't try to exorcise you because you weren't baptized?
I was not. Well, no. That's part and parcel as to why I was considered an abomination.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say, is it like outside of scope if they're not, if you're not baptized?
Well, according
it's like you're not our problem.
Yeah.
Well, according to the acts of exorcism, the first thing they do is baptize you. If they're going to exorcise you.
That's true, man. Same. I was looking into something around here, and like you gotta get baptized by the church.
Wait, you were looking into exorcisms, James?
Yeah.
Let's back up here for a second.
Kids in private schools.
Oh, okay.
Kids in private schools. Same thing. Yeah, like these Christian schools.
They're considered autonomous, and they're considered a private organization, and they can no shirt, no shoes you if they want to.
No shirt. Yeah.
Weird.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, for sure. You gotta like put in the work.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
I heard that if you weren't baptized, that the Mormons just end up swooping you up, and you end up going to their god anyway.
You end up in black
they
shirt,
do
black
like
pants
mass,
and a white shirt.
Yeah, dude.
Laugh if you want to, but that's kind of true.
That's what I thought.
They baptize the dead into their cult.
Because
they do.
That's crazy.
I do the genealogy for my family, and part of my database is because of the Mormon temples. And one of the first things they ask you is, were you ever baptized?
Oh, wow.
That's one of the first questions they ask. And
Yeah,
They
man.
asked that first.
Well, they grab everybody who's not baptized. So I'm worried. I need to align my soul with something because I don't want to be a Mormon. I don't want to be a Mormon in the afterlife.
You need to have a belief system built
Yeah,
in,
dude,
right?
I need something going on.
Yeah, what do we believe?
I don't think it matters. They still come in and swoop in and say you're baptized under the Mormon church.
Dude, if we play our
It says
card,
it on the. Have you found that, Gordon, where it says underneath your relatives, whatever the Mormon church
Foreskin?
puts that they baptized this person.
You have the option to do it on paper, like for example, my 5 times great grandfather was not baptized in the Catholic Church or otherwise, and so I had the option to fill out paperwork to baptize him in the Mormon Church.
Oh wow!
And that's literally, it's just a speaking ceremony. It's and in the the soul of Andrew Price Roop, may he be worshipped and it's just a verbal thing. It's not like they go to his gravesite and bless it or something.
No, but I thought they did it without permission. I thought that they just
they
just did it.
Well, I can't speak on. I can speak with my experience, which was they gave me the option. They're like, we understand he was never baptized. Would you like to baptize him now? And it's like, no, because I don't want him coming back and whooping my ass. Gordy, what the hell do you think you're doing? I'm sorry. But it is a thing. I mean, whereas with Catholics, they can't retrograde baptize you. Christians and Catholics can't do that unless they're physically at your gravesite.
Do the Mormons do that because don't they have some kind of belief where like once you die, you get your own like universe and become the god of that universe? So is that like a way of harvesting like dead souls to bring into their collective of
your own planet? You get your own planet.
That's
your own planet or something.
I would
like
imagine, yeah.
Haven't you seen Book of Mormon? Come on.
I think I'm kind of down with Mormonism. And if I get my own planet when I die, that's pretty sweet.
Well,
and
you
could
could even
2 virgins while you're alive.
Except what happens if you get post baptized and you end up with your own planet, and now you're on this planet, you don't know what the fuck happened and where am I and what's happening here?
Well, I don't think that the dead person will get their own planet. I think like the Mormon that's alive at the time that of the baptism. I don't know. I'm just conjecture.
If only we had an expert. If only we had an expert online.
Do we?
I don't think we do. I mean,
Don't we?
only.
Is it
on Mormonism?
In
We
what?
don't have any.
There's
well, not necessarily ism. Gordon? Didn't you come from that area? That faith?
Which faith?
Mormonism? Weren't you just talking about that?
No, that's not
I
what.
said Catholic.
Yeah, I was.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Man.
my great grand and my grand were like off the boat from Ireland, and they were like as Catholic got.
Oh yeah, that's extremely not Mormon.
And but as I started to do the genealogy of my family, I found out a whole bunch of different facets. My degree's in ancient history to begin with, and part of that encompasses religions. So I already had a good amount of knowledge of Catholicism and Mormonism and et cetera, et cetera.
So when you were doing that degree, was that the comparative religions thing, or was that some specific like divinity school type
no, it was
studies or what?
I went to UC Berkeley.
Okay.
And so it was more of religions and how they're incorporated into cultures. And so it was if the culture, like Rome, I did Roman mythology, Greek mythology. I specialized in Egyptology. And so it was with Egyptology, it was the all encompassing religions. It was Catholicism, Judaism, had to learn how to read Hebrew, which was a bitch and a half.
Yeah.
And it was easier to learn how to read hieroglyphics than it was to speak Hebrew. It was like God in heaven. I mean, because you can look at the Egyptian Book of the Dead and be like, oh, okay, the bird equals this and duck equals that. And then you go to Hebrew and you're just like, yeah, I can't read backwards.
The phonetic aspect of it makes you unpack things, whereas the hieroglyphics, I think, tend to they have their own meaning that sort of directly translates.
Yeah,
maybe they don't
like
really
the
know.
emojis.
The hieroglyphics. Isn't it true that the hieroglyphics did not come from dynastic Egypt? They came from pre-dynastic Egypt.
There's a rudimentary form from pre-dynastic Egypt. It was expounded upon after the third dynasty, third. One of those.
Basically, the guys who built the Sphinx and the shit that's old, that was their language, and the Egyptians never used it until later on, real long later, like you say.
Yeah, it was a different rudimentary form of hieroglyph that kind of bastardized itself into the hieroglyphics we know today.
Okay, that's not what I read. Okay, I sit corrected.
Well, I mean that what's his name? Wallace Budge. He has a few good books. He was one of the foremost authorities on Egypt, and he has a few good books that describe the language, and it dabbles in its origins and where it could have come from and what might have inspired it. And there's a lot of what if scenarios in his books that it's actually pretty enjoyable to get into.
I don't know.
But
It's
as
like,
we
I don't
said
wanna fill my
earlier,
head
readings for queers.
No, I don't. That's
Again
not the
with the
point.
gay bashing.
Yeah, that's not the point. The point is that I'm full up of stories on what people think about certain things. Like I don't want to hear another theories. Like I've heard enough. At some point, it's just like, okay, it's just an unknown thing.
Right.
So what have you not heard about yet,
But
Jared?
what about the known unknowns and the known knowns, and then we have unknown unknowns too? I mean, let's not
Personally,
forget
I
about
think
that.
Isn't that
Egypt
like
was-
the woodchuck thing that you just went through?
Do you know in World
Basically.
of Warcraft? when
Yes.
there's buildings and shit. It's like pre-rendered ruins and whatnot. I think that's what Egypt is. It's like a pre-rendered ruin for this holodeck.
Okay.
Ooh, that's a good way to look at it.
Yeah.
I just want to know what's inside the door that's on the bottom of the Sphinx. That's all I want to know.
Do you even know that exists?
Is the Sphinx even real? Do we even know it exists?
There's people say that. I heard that story. Oh, there's an underground thing. There's a fucking there's a table where you can wave your hand over there and mix DNA.
No, there's a documentary on. You can find it on YouTube. It's from either 2006 or 2007, and it's the glorious mystery of the Sphinx and and these guys go, and it's when I hope I'm pronouncing his name right. Swahiki. He was the
even if
minister,
you're not, I like it. I mean, it's
the
cool.
minister. He was the minister of antiquities for Egypt.
Zahi Hawass.
What you said,
Oh,
yeah,
Dr. Hawass, yeah.
He died recently.
That cocksucker.
Hawass did?
Yeah.
So.
He was kind of an asshat. He seemed he seemed pretty legit at first, and then he ended up turning the Giza Plateau into his own little freaking fief.
Well, when he worked at the museum, he was cool in the gang, and then he got promoted to minister of antiquities, and he became a giant asshat. But this documentary team had it all scheduled and worked out with him, and he is on tape with them talking about going inside what he called the library, the Sphinx. And there's a doorway right there. It's in the video with Swahili, whatever, right there.
Yeah.
And then they come back the next day to go through what they talked about, and there's a huge iron gate installed.
The next day.
The next day. And it's
so this is the thing that they're talking about under the paw, right?
Yeah, under the left paw. Yeah.
Yeah. So there was a thing floating around for the listeners that don't hear that haven't heard about it from internet antiquity, which was like 8 years ago. It actually I guess it started around the early 2000s or the 90s or something, around Art Bell, when Zahi Hawass was interviewing on Art Bell. And there was some discussion about this unopened chamber that was under one of the paws of the Sphinx. Which one was it, Gordon? What'd you say? The left one?
Left paw.
Yes.
Yeah. So under this paw of the Sphinx, that was some kind of a records room and there were a couple of different sources of I don't want to say information, but people that were talking about it. Some of them were remote viewers. People were talking about oh God, what's his name? Robert Monroe, I guess.
Mhm.
The Journeys Out of the Body guy.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Edgar Casey talking about the Akashic records and things like that. And there was there were a whole bunch of connections.
How does that relate to the records? Oh, Casey, because Casey said it was going to be there.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, Casey was talking about the Akashic records and made some kind of a connection to it.
Let me switch my camera so you can see this gesticulation.
I like the painting better. The painting looks good.
I love the painting.
Yeah, that's nice. I'm liking that.
I got a listicle.
A list?
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
A listicle.
What's the list?
10
What's
things
the
you probably didn't know about Egypt, ancient Egypt.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. They did not ride camels.
Huh?
Yeah. The camel was
They
not
just
regularly the camel was not regularly used until the very end of the dynastic age. Instead, Egyptians used donkeys as beasts of burden and boats and highly coveted means of transportation.
Boats are kind of hard to deal with on the land, though. I'm just saying.
You got to get on a ladder to fuck them good, you know?
Yeah.
Shit.
Yeah, you have to get on a ladder to fuck a boat. That's true.
A camel.
Maybe it was a dinghy.
So how did they get around if they didn't ride the camel?
They rode donkeys.
Oh, donkeys.
Donkeys, yeah.
Yeah, that's right. That's in the Bible.
They rode donkeys. Let's see here.
Alligators, maybe.
Uh-oh.
Not everyone was mummified. That makes sense. I mean, why waste the bandages?
It's kind of an expensive process, and it takes a long time to do it.
Yeah. So why did the elite feel they need to mummify their dead body? The living shard found with the dead. The living shard. What is the living shard? Is that like a dagger or something?
No idea.
The tomb was designed as an eternal home for the mummified body of the Ka spirit.
The Ka.
Ka's the Ka. Yeah.
Yeah, it's the soul.
Yeah, Ka spirit that lived beside it. An accessible tomb chapel allowed families, well-wishers, and priests to visit the deceased and leave their regular offerings that the Ka required, while a hidden burial chamber protected the mummy from harm. With the tomb chapel, food and drink were often on a regular basis. Having been spiritually consumed by the Ka, they were then physically consumed by the living. During the Feast of the Valley, an annual festival of death and renewal, many families spent their night in the tomb chapels of their ancestors. The hours of darkness were spent drinking and feasting by torchlight as the living celebrated the reunion with the dead. Dude, that's crazy.
Didn't the rich people back then want to preserve their bodies in order to persist in the afterlife? Whereas, juxtaposed to like burning our corpses now, quickens us to the afterlife.
The thought
that was the mummified thing. Yeah.
Yeah. The thought was what you had here would go onto the next plane of existence with you. That's why they put it in canoptic jars. They were these blessed jars, and they kept everything but the brain. They didn't think the brain had a use, which to me is just funnier than hell.
Yeah, didn't they take the brain out through the nose?
Yeah.
There was a special instrument that they used. It was like a long spike with a hook on the end of it.
Awesome.
It literally looked like a wire hanger.
Yeah. I think they use that for a lot of different things.
It looks like the thing you hang Christmas ornaments on.
I could use one right now, actually.
Why does it do this?
Got some of those crusty bogeys up there.
Oh,
crusty old man bogeys.
Let me pick your brain.
You got a hanger, dude. You got a hanger.
Wrecked him. It damn near killed him.
Oh, damn. Yeah, You were that guy. You said, yeah, it was like expensive, right?
Yeah, it's expensive and it takes a long time to do it.
Yeah, it was an expensive and time consuming process. Yeah. It was only for the wealthy. Yeah. The elites.
Plus, you got to have some place for this carcass to hang around.
Dude, these guys are on point. The Egyptian women had equal rights with men. Men and women of equal social status were treated as equals in the eyes of law.
It's an outrage.
This meant that
This is
women could
unacceptable.
own, earn, buy, sell, and inherit property. Wow.
I don't buy that for a second. That's crazy.
They could live in they could live unprotected by male guardians, and widowed or divorced could raise their own children. They could bring cases before punished by law in the courts and judges and all that. And they were expected to dispute for an absent husband in matters of business.
I like the rump roast butcher twining they got going on that mummy.
Yeah, they do.
Grim steak. That was a joke for you.
What happened? Dude, I'm lost in the chats. I'm not even here right now.
Yeah,
I'm sort of here. I'm just floating. What about mummy?
Picture.
He's on
got a
Pornhub
butcher
again.
strapping
Yeah, we should move on from Egypt, dude. If you're lost, I'm out.
Tied like a fucking rump roast.
It's tied like a rump roast, dude. I'm gonna tell you right now. I do some jet netting every now and then, but like I don't.
Jet netting?
Dude, it's see you don't even have to tie roasts. They make these sweet things where you throw this freaking the roast like through this jet net and it like seals it up and makes it all. You want to do it on like a sirloin tip roast, like
that's
something
the lines, right?
Yeah, dude. Yeah, it's got all the strings and stuff. But dude, like I'll put them out there and people don't want it. Like in this day and age, people look at that, they're like, why do I want these strings that I got to cut off?
I gotta cut this
like,
off.
I can't sell them. Like the only people that buy them, it's the older people.
That meat is so horribly chewy.
Grim, if you have old steaks and stuff, just put them in 2-day packs and send them. I'll give you my address.
Dude, I'm gonna grind them up and make money. Are you kidding me? Come on, man.
The old
business
gray
first.
shit. The old gray stuff is the best steak. Period. I'm just telling you. I mean, you have to know this.
Okay.
When it's been hanging around.
Okay. I'm gonna tell you if you get like hanging beef, that's actually where they butcher it in house, and you're getting it there, and they're aging it in a cooler. Yeah, that's cool. But from a grocery store, no any kind of gray or discolored meat, no, because that's been broken down in a factory, cryovac'd, sealed for who knows how long. Like it's different. It's a different beast.
So for clarity, the gray stuff that I'm talking about is the stuff that they break down in the store.
You don't want that. You don't want that gray stuff.
Really?
You don't want that gray stuff.
I'm afraid
it's been awesome.
I'm afraid to even mention the crap that I had to eat when I was homeless.
Oh well, I'm telling you, like, yeah, dude, the human body can, man. I lived off like expired lunch meat for like 5 years for once, for when I was working at a grocery store for a while.
Yeah,
like literally, the human body is resilient, and honestly, that could be why I don't gain weight. I could just have serious parasites in me that have just been hard, that have been living for years.
And everything you
it's very possible.
With most grocery store,
dude, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
As long as it's not moldy, it's probably safe to eat.
Well, they put dates on it because the corporations have to rotate their products, and you have to sell more, and it's all and you have to improve every single. Dates are irrelevant completely, but you have to still they require them by law, and it's bullshit. Like honestly, it's bullshit.
I know. I'm saying this is my general rule to live by: is if it's not moldy,
give it a smell check.
If it smells okay, it's fine.
And when in doubt, throw it out. Live by that too. Yes.
Grim steak featuring Grim Worm.
See, I think if possible. I think if it is moldy, you wash it off, and if it still stinks, then throw it out.
Yeah.
It depends on the foods. Like, dude, there's some like really processed foods that you don't want to fuck with because they've been processed and ran through so much shit. Like that, the bacteria has so many times for entry that you don't want to fuck with it.
That crap doesn't even scare me anymore. Because the cup of noodles, right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Now imagine that's halfway filled with maggots.
Stop with the gross
when I was-
homeless talk.
When I was yeah, hey man, I'm sorry, that was part of my life. That's what
Yeah.
happened, you know.
Oh man.
So like I look at an expiration date and I go, that's a fucking suggestion, man.
It really is. It is.
Yeah, that's for sure.
And really, there's a lot of protein in there still.
With the maggots, yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
Yeah.
I mean, if we're gonna try to find the silver lining in a really dark moment, I mean, I guess we could say that.
Chew them up. Chew them up.
Well, I mean, you didn't really have to chew them; you just swallow them whole, make things easier. Because it doesn't take much.
Jesus.
What? Hey, man. You know?
Well, if you don't chew them up, you don't get to keep them.
That's not true because they're so small. Your stomach acid just kind of
dissolves it.
Yeah.
Dude.
So who's got a ghost story?
That movie.
Oh, we're gonna get spooky.
Who's got a jam?
Hold on,
Who's
wait.
got a jam?
Wait. Oh, if we're at the halfway point, I got Tim Steak sent in a really good hate mail, and
Fire up some stuff.
And James, I want you to go to the YouTube Marty Leeds YouTube channel and find the video because the interview we did with him, he put it on his channel. Okay. And it's like the most exposure that we've ever gotten. So read some of the best. Read some of the best and some of the worst comments. The people completely trashing us because I guarantee they're there. I haven't looked in like 4 days, but I guarantee.
Wait! I'll roll them on the screen. We could read
I stopped
together.
posting them.
Yeah, I haven't looked in a while, and I'm afraid to.
I saw the one day there was something, but I haven't checked and I haven't seen much.
Just pick out the good ones.
That movie Inner Space with
Yeah.
Dennis.
Yes.
Something. Yeah.
There was a scene in that movie where like this Russian guy was in a suit trying to drill into his thing in the stomach of someone.
Oh my god.
And he got splashed by the stomach acid.
Oh yeah.
And dissolved. That's like what Gordon was talking about. With the
Dude,
maggots.
we fucking that video's got 1,500 views on it.
1,500 views. Yeah,
Danger
that's
Will
pretty good.
Robinson.
Wow,
That's pretty
I'm
good.
sorry, people.
Oh wait.
Holy
Okay,
shit.
so I'm gonna hold on. I gotta play the hate mail jingle, and I gotta read Tim Steak's hate mail,
Okay.
and then we'll.
I'm still loading it. So yeah, go for it.
All right, here we go.
James Cruz and Grimsteak. James Cruz and Grimsteak. Hey man.
Yeah, hear it.
Oh, it's not coming through to you. It's going out to the people. They hear it.
Yeah, good.
James Cruz
Power
and
to the
Grimsteak.
Which one? Oh yeah, I didn't ever set it over. And now it's over. You guys can hear it. But let's see here.
You know how it goes.
We got from Mr. Tim Steak. So I should make this now. Okay, we got this. I'll kill this. All right. He says, "Hello all from CwS. Tim Steak here with some synchros from the Impeach the Climate episode. Here goes." So he had some synchros. "I had an old guy hologram back in my hometown, and I used to see him all the time in my small hometown in Weaverville, North Carolina. He would wear red suspenders and look like a young Colonel Sanders. The craziest thing is that on vacation to Washington, D.C., we stopped at the rest stop in Virginia. We got out to use the bathrooms and smoke a joint, and so help me God, that guy was with the red suspenders was there, 450 miles from my hometown. I was like, I know that old dude. I went up to him and said, 'You're from Weaverville,' and he looked a little shocked and said, 'Yep, that was crazy.' Inception synchro." So that first one I want to stop because that had to do with I see like a phantom man every single morning on my drive to work walking, and he waves to me. So that an old man hologram guy. So here's his second synchro. "James and Jerry mentioned a conspiracy map with arrows connecting shit, and I just printed out one at work with the work printer, and it's hanging up on his door." So conspiracy maps apparently got mentioned, and he just did that.
The one from what's his name? He's got 3 names. The 3-name gay guy. Pat Monroe? Dylan Monroe?
That sounds good.
Yeah, he did the Q map, and then broke off from there.
Fourth synchro. He's been binge watching Dragon Ball Z Super this month, which I have also. So congrats, that's amazing. Fifth synchro. "This is the craziest one. Okay, there renews it can with a dick picture on its thing in my family. When it happened, my aunt and uncle had it and kept it in a curio cabinet as a humorous heirloom. They showed me that can a few times over the years. My uncle was a mentor and just passed away a month ago suddenly, and I didn't get to see him before he passed away, so the synchro is crazy as hell. I'm going to try to get the can and show you guys in the chat sometime soon. So that had to do with how we all took those pictures like 2 years ago with the nudes with the cans in front of our dicks. So apparently this is something that goes on in Tim Steak's family. Oddly enough, some weird synchro. So yeah, that's cheers, Tim Steak. There it is.
That's
so
hilarious.
lots of synchronicities. And there's
No
posts
doubt.
and Flavortown's
So to
posting
Tim Steak.
beers.
So to Tim Steak, respect.
Respect.
Heck
Man.
yeah.
Hey, let's welcome Flavortown to the show too. Showing up a little late, but here he is.
Better late than ever.
What's up, buddy? So James, let's how about you read some of these comments here?
Okay.
Some of the best and
if
some of
you
the
go
worst.
Look up Marty Leeds, Leeds.
Fun show.
You'll find his last post of our show, his episode 123, Cruising with Steak. It's got 1,710 views. And I just liked it for the 100th time, and it has 8 thumbs down. So check out Marty Leeds' YouTube, which is phenomenal. And
It only has 8 thumbs down.
Now it's got 9 thumbs down.
I was gonna.
Oh, what the?
It had 9 thumbs down, and then it went to 8.
It just was at it's at 8 right now. Well, I gotta update it, but anyway.
No. I made
Israelis
it.
up
I went down because I could. It's 99 up and 9 down. I think. It's
Oh, nice.
And there's 3.
I like it.
Yeah, I scored it. I'm gonna read
Marty, how many times do I need to say I'm not a fan of Freemasons, or I'm not a Freemason? Wait.
Marty, quote, how many times do I need to
I gotta say quote.
Freemason leads?
Yeah, maybe Jerry should read these.
How do I close this link? Jesus Christ, it's taking
This
over the
guy
screen.
creates stuff.
Hit
but
escape.
hosts
Escape, dude.
Sound positively drunk at the end of the show.
And he was not wrong. And you know what that one thumbs up
Dude.
is? That one thumbs up is me.
Yeah. Yeah, man. Great. Yeah. Great. The host.
Laundromat News. Marty, you're amazing. I love telling people about the knowledge you have to share.
Sweet. That's exactly how I pictured him sounding too.
The Laundromat News. Who's this guy?
This one's good. This is from Lip Dare. Listening to Marty is too valuable for this nonsense.
I love that one. That's the
true.
newest one.
Yeah.
That is true.
That's a great one.
I mean,
yeah.
we are nonsense, and he is probably too
Yes.
valuable for us.
Oh, yeah.
But I
Yeah.
appreciate him coming on.
Yeah.
What the fuck? His
But I
eyes
mean, lighten up.
20 to ruin dude's pat on the back.
What?
That was when Bill was Beastrat. He was telling him how he respected him as a researcher and he's a Freemason and stuff. And Jerry put these eye blasts that popped in
Every 11 minutes and 11 seconds. So 11, 11, 22, 22, 33, 33. He gets laser eyes.
That's amazing.
just for a real quick second.
For like 2 seconds.
Yes.
Yeah, well, I want to see that. I haven't actually seen that.
That's amazing.
Oh, that's on his. So go to 1020.
Right. It's not. I know. I just realized that.
Joan Senyo. Oh, the commentators sound like they have never done a real day's work in their lives. Too contrived. Be nice. Be nice to see you interview or be interviewed by a real person not connected to the brethren. What is that?
Wait.
We're all
What's-
Freemasons.
Hold-
Yes.
Oh, is that what it is? Because
I was like, it has a group of something, right? Yeah.
Okay, watch.
Oh,
we're watching. Here it comes.
watch this. Here, listen. Yeah.
Oh man.
Wait,
Link to the brethren.
Marty, you didn't do a TED talk? Great
Oh, I
content
know.
as always.
I got skewered for that.
That was hilarious. So, how did you get involved with the TED talk?
I could have sworn that was my bad. I did not follow. I didn't do my research.
This is the laser eye frame that I snuck in.
That's so awesome, Jerry.
Awesome conversation, Marty. Well done, brother. Thanks for the great content again. Yeah, but Marty, what TED Talk were you on? Yeah.
I'm a little
Pre-liking, of
disappointed.
course. Thank you, Marty. You probably turned that into a thumbs down.
What's Marty Lee's favorite show in
1340,
anime?
was there a red flash in your eyes?
What is Marty Leeds' favorite shonen anime? That's a great question.
Oh man. John James, I am here for that full melt, clear dome, super silver, sour diesel haze bubble. Fire it up, dude. Oh, we got a happy pappy with a link to grimsteak.com. Ooh, and a thumbs up. What about Q, Marty? Do you see the code? Benjamin Payne says. All right, yeah, that's fun reading.
What happened to
YouTube
Q? Is
comments.
Q still doing stuff?
We
I like Marty's response to that.
I was wondering the same thing today because
I don't think
He's
he is.
dead.
He disappeared when 8chan went down.
Yeah.
It's a government. It's a CIA
Doesn't
thing, man.
exist, folks.
Yeah, I know.
It's like a background story that they can point at and say, these conspiracy theories came from here.
Mhm.
Yeah, maybe they're just
The new
trying to come up with
Wikipedia.
a new narrative or something. I don't know
Oh,
before they
no.
roll Q back out.
I think
No.
he's out. I think he's gone.
Enough people have taken up the banner and championed it, so it doesn't need him.
Oh, so you're saying like
It-
the meme magic worked
Yeah.
kind of thing? Like for what they wanted to do with Q, like it's been seeded, so no
Yeah.
reason to keep it going. Everyone's just
Yeah.
making it up for him.
Yeah, pretty much.
I just felt like a solid week now. I didn't like read or see like a single thing related to Q, which is kind of weird.
I haven't seen anything related to Q in a year.
Nobody's even talking about it now.
I had somebody write me and ask me if I was going to write Conspiracy Evolution 2. And I'm like, why bother? Like, there's conspiracies all around us in plain sight.
It's
you know?
constant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, well,
Look at right now with this Ukrainian thing and how when like CNN is openly stating that this is a conspiracy theory. That
Yeah.
the Biden,
Yeah.
like it's not. It was in Politico. It was the New York Times. It's not like
it's conspiracy theories are in the out and open now, man. I mean, it's like, when I
do you remember when CNN had headline news?
Oh yeah.
So before there was CNN, there was headline news, and they became increasingly more like tabloid type.
Yeah,
of
they used to come on TBS, and yeah, I remember that.
Right. So then they got their own channel, and that was CNN.
Yeah,
and then they let headline news just die in obscurity as this tabloid channel. It was horrible. I don't even know if it's still around. But
Well,
anyways,
it was in syndication for a while.
CNN's following that model right now.
Wow.
I think it's it's more serious news based, but it's still
Isn't
fanatical.
HLN back though? I thought I saw him on TV recently.
HLN is on.
It's-
I have it.
doesn't-
Headline news, right?
Yeah.
It doesn't matter.
yeah.
It's the pattern I'm talking about. The pattern of the
pattern.
corporation. Yeah, they're going to trash this channel. They can't. They're never going to get their credibility back. So they just said, "Fuck it, let's just trash it."
I think they want.
If they start a new channel like in the next year or two, then you'll know for sure that's what it was.
I don't think any news outlet has any credibility anymore.
Yeah.
I don't think whether you're talking about CNN or Fox or MSNBC or whatever, if it's a news outlet, I think it's shredded.
Yeah, they brought. I was listening to the new Tinfoil Hat. Check it out. Our boys, Grimerica, Darren and Graham, they were on the show and they talked about the tail end of that conversation about the media and stuff. And I think it was Darren or something. I'm sure it was Darren mentioned that that I lost my train of thought.
The media.
I did listen to that today. It's a good episode, though.
Yeah.
Well, it's a matter of you have insert news outlet here going, well, President Trump invited, XYZ foreign outlet to investigate, Biden or Biden's son or Biden's family or whatever.
Yeah.
And you have people go, yeah, whatever. And then President Trump, being the dumbass he is, gets on, in front of the cameras going, I think China should investigate Joe Biden. And it's like, you just added all the credibility to all of us conspiracy theorists, whether we're Democrat, whether we're Republican, whether we're independent. You just solidified that there are conspiracy theories that are legit. And that's the whole floodgate. It's not a matter of, they don't have any, legitimate background anymore. It's a matter of which one do you want to pick on?
Jerry, I think that you're right when you're saying that, like, now with what they're doing with CNN is they're just going to trash the fuck out of it. And then it's just going to have a slow death.
Yeah,
now I remember. I got to talk because I'm never.
There you go.
It's on the tip of my tongue. Okay, so what they were talking about is how I think it was an old not I can't remember all these names. I obviously I am the way I am, and that's how it is. But anyway, how they would almost destroy all the news outlets and have it conglomerated into one outlet.
Disney Plus.
Yeah, basically, right? Yeah. So they would all these things would, because no one's gonna believe anything. Okay, so we'll give you one option. That's it. So, like you said, Jared, they're probably just trashing the fuck out of it. Yeah. Like everything's just falling apart, and then they're gonna be like, all right, we're just gonna stop fighting, and we're gonna come together. But Trump, actually, it's still trained opposition. Yeah.
Trump has been talking about starting a news network.
See? Yeah. Like, I don't know. Yeah.
Wait. Listen,
TNT, TNN.
CNN's ratings are horrible right now. They're going to run out of money soon. They're going to be bankrupt.
How are they going to pay those top people that have anchors for one, too?
They already killed the London office. I mean, they're just going down. It doesn't matter. The point is, well, it would be funny if Trump swooped in and bought them out or saved them out of bankruptcy or something.
Oh shit, that man's an expert on bankruptcy. He probably could help.
I own a big chunk of the Bank of America building in 12.
But if he wants to start a news network
that I got from China in a war.
That's one of my favorites. Sorry.
No, I'm just saying. Think about it. Yeah, CNN's going bankrupt. He wants to start a news network.
Yep.
It's a win-win.
I'll put it right up
this up. Yeah.
I'll put it right up there with Trump University and Trump steaks.
I was gonna say the steaks, dude, are phenomenal.
These steaks.
They're the best steaks. They're the best. Yeah.
Yeah, they're cured in Cheeto dust.
No doubt. Yeah. Yeah, you can sprinkle it on. Extra crunch.
It comes with a side of it.
This dude taking a piss in the subway is hilarious.
How about that? What the hell is that? Yeah. You got to join the chats. You got to join. You got to find cruisemistake.com. Hit some buttons on there. Find the chat. Chats. Hit that shit and get in there. It's pinned on the tweet. It's everywhere, man. So it's insanity in here.
Look how got his head cocked like he's aiming it too while he's pissing.
Yeah. Oh yeah. He's
it's in the NSF.
While he was.
Yeah. Or it's like he's sleeping with his dick out. It's in the NSFW channel, but I'll move it to the main chats.
Yeah.
So everybody can enjoy it.
What's with the guy shitting and saying "shut the fuck up, bitch"? I don't get that one.
Who knows?
I think there was mention of foreskin earlier in the day.
Hey guys, just so you know, this Thursday there's gonna be another anime episode. So Shonen Dump, it's coming back at you, babies. So we're doing it.
Oh yeah, it's coming.
We're talking more anime Thursday.
Some more content here. Yeah.
Hopefully, maybe Lady Eboshi is gonna join us, allegedly. So we might have a little diversity on the show.
Yeah, I need some diverse anime recommendations for the.
No, dude, we're just nothing but shonen. If I talk too much right now, it's gonna turn into nothing.
Dude,
but
I was drawing anime on my wall, art before the show for an hour and a half.
James, you're a beautiful artist, and
I can't. James, I've never drawn.
You're my best friend. You're the best.
Oh man, yeah.
I'm looking at this picture of this homeless guy, and I can't help but wondering how large is his bladder. There's like a
Oof.
river
Oh,
on
yeah.
that subway floor.
It's
Yeah,
got to be a
you'd be
river, right?
surprised, man.
Yeah.
Bladders can
Yeah,
hold
it's
a
a
lot of
homeless
pee.
dude just letting it rip on a.
He might
on
have a
train.
home. He might have a home. We don't know.
Yeah, it's on that train.
Yeah, he's just. I mean, we don't know.
Home sweet home.
Piss
Just
through
playing in
that
his head
boner.
right now.
Well,
No, that was
Oh,
the
dude,
homeless.
our chats are the phenomenal. We definitely
it's
have
community.
The best
That's what this
memes
shows. That's
channel
what this show's
on the
become.
planet.
We're building a community. I don't give a fuck about
Yeah,
advertisements.
it's just talk. It's like
or I don't
it's a
care
talk
about
community.
selling you anything. Come hang out with us.
No.
Call us fags if you want. I don't care.
The homeless shelter I stayed at in Atlanta wasn't very far from a police district building. You know,
Okay.
the small outlet buildings.
Yeah.
And like every morning, there'd be about 4 or 5 homeless guys just taking a fresh steamer right there on the steps of the police station.
Oh man! Wow.
The unwritten rule
Thank
was
you
if you
very much. That's
if you got to
really
do
nice.
it,
Thank
do
you.
it, do it on the steps of the police station.
Dude, you got to go all out.
Hey man, if you're gonna do it right
Yeah.
or don't bother.
Yeah. Oh man, I don't. One time, can I tell a story?
Of course. It's
Oh
like,
man. Okay. I was probably 15. I brought one of my friends. We were going down to kind of like this Tri-Point area in southern Ohio. It was like Madison, Indiana, and Kentucky, and like this little area right on the river. My great uncle was a mechanic for hydroplane racing, and
So basically, extreme motorsports is something that's in your blood.
oh,
James.
it's in my blood. I mean, you guys have heard me talk about the insane.
Yeah,
insane
dude, you
stuff
found
I've
found
done.
Jesus's face. In
I
a
found
fucking...
I found Jesus when I was like probably 6. yeah.
You go back into
Yeah.
the beginning episodes. You
I
can hear
know.
that story.
Yeah, man. Oh yeah, you got to go back, dude. You guys, man, you really do have to go back and listen to this stuff. It's so good. What, like in the early group shows? Yeah, you'll see the interviews.
But yeah,
but
let's
when
get
you see
back.
the group
Let's
show.
bring it back.
Anyway, bring it back. Bring it
Yeah,
back.
what were you saying?
And,
Your
I
great
was
uncle
talking-
motorsports, a
Yeah,
river.
going down there. Oh,
Yeah.
Okay. So we go down. We're about halfway down. I mean, this is probably a 6-hour drive. Halfway down, we stop at somewhere. I brought a friend with me. We go in. We're hang at this like McDonald's or something or whatever. You fly in, take a leak real quick. No, he flies in and just drops one on the floor, right in the stall. Just
Like shit? Like he shit
Oh,
on the
yeah.
floor? Okay.
yeah.
All right.
And he thought it was like the funniest thing ever. I'm like, what the fuck?
Okay.
I was confused, and I went back in the car and just was confused for a while. It
As you
kind of
should
rocked
be.
my world for a
Did your
minute.
uncle do that? You shit on the floor?
No, my friend.
Oh, your friend.
Yeah, he was
How
like
good
15,
friends were
like
you
my
with this
age,
guy?
yeah. It's so crazy. Shout out, James.
I told you. Tony shit on the-
Yeah,
shit on the
it
floor,
was
right?
off the charts. He just drops one right in the stall, right on the floor. I'm like, wow. I don't know. I've never stepped the boundary of that.
Yeah,
But-
dude,
but,
shitting in
yeah.
public when you're and what's weird is when there's a toilet so
Shitting your
close.
pants in public.
But that's such a
another-
strange. That's like a big fuck you to the staff to be like, the toilet's right here, but I'm gonna shit on the floor in front of the toilet.
Oh
So, like,
yeah, I was blown away at 15. I was like, "This is wrong, wrong."
yeah, that's
Like,
that's
Not
a
only
real
that,
ass.
how
That's a
much
real
of it
ass
gets on your
dude.
leg?
just
You're not the
well,
right
no,
angle.
like I said, it wasn't like it wasn't an emergency diarrhea situation. It was, I'm gonna push this log on this floor and leave.
Yeah, it was just proving a point. It's
Yeah.
it's an
Oh,
act of
yeah.
rebellion. I totally get it. I get it.
Like I had taken a leak. I was washing my hands. I think I was out of the thing. He's like, "Good." Or yeah, come back in. And so I come back in, and he's like, he's busting up laughing. He's pointing. I look down where he's pointing. I'm like, oh Jesus, dude. And then just laugh. Like we were out. And I think that's about all I said about the whole situation. It was so funny. I don't know. I like, oh, man, the nuts to drop trout and just plow one on the floor. I guess. I mean, I could see it when you're older and like you just don't give a fuck. And
What
you're
about like
wasted or something?
not wiping your ass on top of it? That's kind of.
I don't, like I said, I think I wasn't in the stall when it happened. Maybe he cleaned up.
Oh, dude. No, he was taking a dump and he just
moved up and just
he didn't want to sit on that seat. He was hovering.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
And he missed. That's all.
He missed.
And then he was
That's a
embarrassed.
serious
Let's get the
hover.
fuck out of here.
Not embarrassing. He was dying.
I mean,
he was laughing his ass.
Women,
but when you're that
not-
young, you're like, this is the funniest shit ever.
My wife used to work at Walmart.
Oh.
And if she finds out I told this story, I'm
Oh,
dead.
that's why I'm telling stuff like this because
But,
like it's
Don't
off the
sit
charts.
on toilet seats. They
But-
hover.
But Kimmy and her sister both worked at this Walmart, right?
Yeah.
And they had alternating shifts. So when Kimmy got off, her sister would come on. And so there's this homeless guy who used to have a crush on my wife.
Oh, yeah.
So at the end of her, and he hated, as everyone does, my sister-in-law. And so at the end of Kimmy's shift, he'd come in, take a dump in the aisle, and leave. And that would force my sister-in-law to clean it up. And they actually had it. They had
didn't like the other one, so
they actually no. And I wish there was like a camera or a microphone around for this, because they actually had a staff meeting on how Kimmy could get the homeless guy to dislike her.
Well, dude, I mean, I've worked with the public for most of my adult life, and it's made me realize that people are disgusting, just rude animals. They are. Humans are just animals. Like, dude, I've seen people literally walk around shitting their pants in stores, like with shit running out their leg, not even caring, just walking, just walking around with piss pants. Like, people are animals. It's disgusting.
The only time,
but you don't. Let me hold on, Gordon. I'm sorry.
like the
Let me
drive-through
tell you.
window.
But the most miserable creature that I see in stores is the married husband, the father, walking around with his wife while she's just like bossing around and he's just defeated, leaned over the cart. Kids are screaming. He has no control, just miserable with his life.
I don't.
And
take
that
I
right there,
stopped doing that.
that right there. When I see that, I think every day, thank God I'm single. That's all I think.
But that's why I bought a shock collar for my kid.
You gotta do it right. You gotta take turns. You gotta take turns and go. Cause fuck that shit. That's retarded.
By the way, off topic. Tomorrow's his 9th birthday.
Hey.
No, the little bastard. His due date was 10/10/10.
Oh,
and of course
that would have been dope.
And of course, he couldn't wait a fucking day. Anyway.
Yeah.
No, but I know what you're saying, Grim. I mean, because it's you have these people who are just dead set on one way or another. It's like, even when I was homeless, even when I'm having a seizure, I still don't soil myself.
Exactly. You keep it together. Yes, you control your bowels. That's all we have to do to be we're living in a society here. All you have to do is just keep your pants clean.
Shit, fool.
Just keep your pants clean. That's all I ask.
Yeah, I mean, look, everybody has had that occasion in their life where they bacon stripped it, and they had food poisoning or they've got the flu. Everyone's been down that road. Not a big to do.
There ain't no way anybody listening to this shit right now is not shit your pants.
But
we've all done it, but you take care of it when it happens.
You will. Yeah.
You don't be oblivious to it. Yes. You don't curse the rest of the world with your disgustingness. You get shameful. You find a bathroom. You clean yourself up. Like, come on, people.
You get shitty pants.
Get your lives together. It's just disgusting.
Depend.
I was talking.
Yeah. Gordon. That's Mandela effect. It's depend. It's not depends. It's depend. I'm serious.
No, the guy who played the sergeant in Full Metal Jacket.
Oh,
Ernie, yeah.
He just passed. I could have sworn
it was a couple years ago.
No, but no. What I'm saying is, in Gordon time, he just passed. Okay. Whereas I thought he died like a decade ago.
See?
Oh man.
Alternate universes.
So weird. Something's going on.
There's a guy who works at the Starbucks near my house, and his other part-time job is he works at a Jack Shack.
Wait. What's a Jack Shack? Because I feel like feel like if I spit in my palms enough, I can get a job at this place.
Oh my god!
Like a Chinese spa, Asian spa.
but it's a porn shop. It's,
we have
and
It's everything I dreamed.
And
Jack Shack.
so
we have Lion's Den around here. It's corporate. We have corporate porn shop.
We have
where like you get like Ron
porn or wall
like Steele and Ron Jeremy dildos and shit there. You know.
I met
Like the
Ron
molds.
Jeremy once.
I met him too. He bought me lunch.
Yeah,
It was
he's
fucking
amazingly
awesome.
short.
Bought you lunch. That's awesome.
I couldn't
Ron
believe how short
Jeremy.
he was.
Well, they call him the gerbil of porn for a reason. I mean,
He's
Oh,
like
yeah.
a sweaty burlap.
the
sack.
hedgehog.
Did he break out the scrapbook?
No, I met him at the AVN out in Vegas.
Okay.
Yeah.
I met him. There's a radio show, and this is going back years and years in the Bay Area, called the Alex Bennett Show with a live studio audience. And he would have Christy Canyon. He would have. I met Morrissey. I met Joan Jett. I met Susie Sue.
I met Morrissey once.
You know who I met and drooled over? Seika.
I can't say I know who that is.
I just want you guys to know that Jack Shack is going to be the show title. Just so you know, the Jack Shack.
No. So
that's a winner.
Back to the Jack Shack thing, real quick.
Tell me Jack Shack.
He works at Starbucks and his other part times at the porn shop.
Jack Shack Joker.
And he got fired because he laughed at this guy came out of one of the glory holes with like jizz all over his face.
Oh man.
And he made fun of him and he got fired for it. And I'm like, how do you get fired for that? Anyway.
And what I want to know is why would you not clean your face up if you had jizz on it? Like, what kind of man would just walk around with jizz on their face?
It can happen.
Maybe you can save it for later.
Maybe.
But no, so Ron
Jack
Jeremy,
Shack Glory
We
Hole.
don't know.
Jack Shack Glory Hole. That's Jack Shack Glory Hole. There's the show title. Thank you.
There's the show.
Oh
title.
my
All right.
god.
We got it.
So Ron Jeremy was at this radio show, and afterwards, go across the street to this diner, and I get a coffee and some eggs. And he comes in, he's like, hey, you're that kid from the show, right? And this is when I was in college. I was like 19, 20. And I said, yeah. He goes, can I join you? And I'm thinking, yeah, you're fucking Ron Jeremy. Of course, you know. So he's like, okay, I'll be right back. And he leaves. And he's gone for like 5 minutes. And he comes back with this scrapbook that's like thicker than any Bible I've ever seen in my life. And he sits down and he proceeds to go through the scrapbook from like his first commercial to his appearance in Ghostbusters to like he's going through all this crap. And then he ended up just putting a $50 bill on the table going, okay, kid, I'll see you later. And he left.
Oh, he sounds like he was coked up out of his mind and just wanted to tell stories to somebody.
It was a trip.
It's awesome.
No, it was great because I got to keep the change, man. I was
nice. There you go.
My eggs cost like $5. He put a $50 bill on the table. The waitress got $5. I got 40. It was cool.
Oh man.
Don't believe the 5.6.
Don't believe it to you guys. Dude, Marty Leeds almost had us believe in the 5.6 last week.
Jack Shack.
Jack Shack. Oh, man,
Jack Shack
that'll
Glory
be a
Hole,
tough one.
baby.
Yeah.
Man.
With Melania.
Let's see. What do I got for Jack Shack? Maybe.
What are you doing?
What do we got? What do we got?
Oh yeah, I got stuff.
We got any kind. What kind of content we got for the end of this? Flavor Town.
People that don't
Yeah,
have
what's
it.
up?
We have people that are moral.
I'm trying to stop that. Sorry.
What do you got? What do you got?
Dude, yeah, we gotta get everyone else.
You guys
in.
want some hidden history stuff?
Oh,
I've
dude,
been digging
let's
into
do it.
lately.
Yeah, what do you
Oh,
got, man? Just give me some hidden history.
So this
love
is
those
a
shows.
really random connection that I'm trying. I'm not like. This is something I just kind of discovered on my own. That
Oh, it's awesome.
it's not really like I don't know what to make of it quite yet, but I feel like it's related
We will make
to something.
America.
Shit.
Consider the passenger pigeon. Has anyone ever heard of a passenger pigeon or know what a passenger pigeon is?
Yes.
Didn't we just
I know what
talk about?
I know what a
but
carrier
not on the
pigeon
show.
is.
We're trying. Yeah.
We're
I know
trying to
what-
crowdsource this because I'm
like,
trying to find
what's
out
a-
more about it.
Like, are those the ones that send messages, or what are those?
So passenger pigeons are a bird that went extinct in the in 1901 is when the last passenger pigeon was found. I was doing some research on it, and apparently at some point, the passenger pigeon was like 25% of the population of birds in the United States. Wiki says that they had between 3 and possibly up to 5 billion passenger pigeons in the country. I mean, in general, they're kind of interesting because they're not really like pigeons in the sense that they travel around in gigantic swarms, and they used to like go around and beat acorns and fruit and stuff.
They
off
almost look
trees
like
with their wings.
a turtle dove.
Yeah, kind of. They're definitely smaller than like city pigeons or whatever.
Yeah.
And all of the food from the tops of the trees falls down onto the floor, and onto the forest floor, and like so.
It's like an
Passenger
omen.
pigeons. Yeah, well, yeah, it's a good
Yeah.
omen. Like whenever the passenger pigeon showed up, they knew that there was going to be a time of abundance because you
Oh,
got to
yeah.
think like you have like a bunch of animals
Yes.
coming around eating the birds, and so the explanation for the extinction of the passenger pigeons. Keep in mind, there were apparently 3 billion plus passenger pigeons as of like I don't know 1870,
Yeah.
and then by 1901 they were just gone.
Weird.
100% gone.
It
And
doesn't
of course,
exist, folks.
the modern narrative is, oh well, humans killed all of them. Like we just overhunted the shit.
Yeah,
out of
yes. Overkill hypothesis is
Damn
my
it, dude.
most hated hypothesis on everything.
It's
Birds
so
aren't real,
frustrating.
man. Birds aren't real.
It's funny that I happened to stumble on this like a few weeks after that whole birds, because the whole time I'm like looking into
Yeah.
it, I'm like, am I really gonna be like take a tangential birds are not real?
Like it creeps
not
into
really
your
a-
head. It's like that
yeah.
flat Earth shit. It starts creeping in your head.
But
Yeah.
so
Plants
it's
the seed.
the passenger pigeon territory was like primarily on the east coast of the United States and pretty much stretched out, and like looks like the territory kind of ended in the central United States, like Texas, Colorado-ish
Really?
was
So
probably
they
the
were-
farthest
well,
west that it would go.
Yeah,
and it
because
was
they were
mostly
never flying over
concentrated-
water, right?
Yeah, and mostly
Yeah.
concentrated in what seems like the Great Lakes area, maybe a little bit
Oh.
farther south into like Virginia and whatnot. And there, I found all these like pictures of like all these passenger pigeons that are just getting like they have these piles of them. It was so easy to kill them apparently, but honestly, like this is the question I've been asking myself, and I'm trying to find out like how did they kill that many birds in that little period of time?
Birdshot.
Like I've been trying to figure out exactly what it would take to kill that many
I mean, they had
birds and have them
shotguns then.
completely wiped out in like a few decades. Like I can't think
But
of
what's
is there
the
anything in modern
purpose?
history that we've done that to.
What would be the purpose of killing all those birds, though? Like,
Well,
what?
no,
Like,
no,
what
no.
do they
Okay, so the
provide?
point. Well, okay, so my point specifically is that we didn't kill all these birds. I mean, yeah, sure, they were hunted for food because apparently they were pretty tasty and they were very easy to kill. But a lot of the books that you find from back then talk about how like for every one of them you kill like 10 more take its place. So it's almost impossible to kill all
That
these
is true.
birds.
They're like the Hydra of birds.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, and so I don't. Again, going back to this idea that there was potentially some kind of reset, North American disaster that is kind of hidden.
Oh, and just wiped out their
history,
habitats or wiped out
that
whatever kind of.
whatever this
yeah.
event was, whether it was like some kind of geomagnetic storm or solar flare or earthquake.
Well, weren't there? Didn't you mention something about
instantly killed
huge,
all of them.
huge like mudslides and shit that just buried cities and stuff? Or like, what's
Yeah, so that's tied
the
into
mud
kind
flood.
of yeah,
the mud
Yeah,
floods?
but that's the way we're going to be talking about bees in like what, like within a century, right?
Well, I don't think we'll ever have a
but even
chance
that,
to
that's
talk about
gradual.
bees like
I'm
that.
talking about like in less.
Oh, you're
than a
talking about this.
generation.
Oh, I see what you. Okay, I'm sorry. I
We
misunderstood.
killed them in less than a generation, apparently, according to this historical narrative. We killed them in less than a generation, completely 100% wiped them out.
Yeah, I'm looking at this Forbes article from 2017 and says the population crashed from billions with a B to 0 in just 50 years.
Yeah, that's unheard of. There's no logical explanation for that involves humans overhunting them. I mean, we overhunt fish in the ocean, but there's still fish for us to find. We haven't
I'm
completed.
gonna hit it. Okay, I'm recording again right now. I'm
How much
sorry,
more
guys.
ocean is there than land, though?
Quite a bit more.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we're back. We're back recording.
70% water.
The Earth
So
and
if you
the human
compare,
body-
like,
the Earth and the human body
animals.
have like the same percentage of water.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
So basically,
So cool.
we didn't overhunt these pigeons. Like, what's
I don't
what's
think so.
what's possible that could have happened?
So of course, you mentioned the mud flood idea, and then you had a lot of different things going on in the 1800s and early 1900s in the United States. You had the New Madrid earthquake in 1812, which is the largest North American earthquake on record still to this day. We don't really have a whole lot of evidence of what all it affected because there weren't either they've gotten rid of all the accounts of the New Madrid earthquake, or there just weren't a ton of people out there because it took place, mostly near the Mississippi. And there was a president, I think, that said that they were on a steamboat during the New Madrid earthquake. I want to say it might have been Teddy Roosevelt.
New Madrid earthquake.
But you had that. You had a bunch of comet activity in Europe in that period of time.
Comets aren't real.
Well, you had the
Well,
what was
regardless of what they are, you had a lot of
the Tunguska? Was that Tunguska?
Electromagnetic.
Tunguska effect was a little bit later. That was like in the early 1900s. I'm talking
Well, they have-
1812.
Yeah.
So Napoleon
Was that around the mini ice age? When was the
that was
mini
in like
ice
the
age?
1600s.
16s, yeah.
It was like
See, I
the
have no
15 and
idea what time
1600s
is.
was the mini ice age. Well, again, and we don't really know what
If it was even real.
Because what you'll find is a couple of things.
Hell yeah.
One, it's very difficult to find information about history 150 to 200 years ago.
So it wasn't here. It doesn't
It's
exist.
almost impossible to find history about a time period earlier than 1400 that wasn't written or copied in the 1400s. Almost all of the history that we have comes back to accounts that were talking about things that happened in the past. Like, for example, the oldest Bible we can prove existed was copied in the 1400s. We know that other people wrote about older Bibles, but the oldest Bible we've been able to find is in the 1400s. So history takes another crash, like previous to 1400s, as far as like primary evidence of it existing. A similar kind of thing.
But these are all theories on the internet.
Here's my
though.
issue.
If you talk to scholars, they will say no. There's a lot of evidence.
I know, but that's the problem. Is those scholars are people that are just reading books that were written by other people, and they're just assuming that everything in there is hunky dory.
And my
I had a
issue-
friend who has a master's in history, and I was talking to him about late 1800s, like
Jerry, I'm gonna mute you real
early
quick.
Reconstruction. Early Reconstruction era America, and he told me he based most of his thesis on a book written by a guy in the 30s who was writing a book based on sources that he found in city government buildings previous to 1900. And my friend went to go find those sources, and they're gone. They're long gone. I understand.
Source of a source.
Yeah, I understand that what his argument was well, clearly this guy did what he said he did, so there's no reason for me to believe that he would just make up all of these sources. But you as a person who wants to understand what really happened in history is like, you can't take that for granted. Like, you literally can't. Like, as much as you want to believe you can, you really can't. Like, if you can't find those sources, you have to be willing to accept the fact that they could have potentially never existed in the first place, or were based off of something that may be wrong. Like,
well, it's like how a lot of scholars say that the library in the Vatican goes back to like what, the 5th century, 6th century, but there's no hard evidence for it.
Yeah, exactly. Most of ancient Rome is based off of history that was talked about in the 5th or 500 or 600 BC. But even that is based off of reconstructions of materials that people claim they found that was reprinted in like the 1400s.
And hold up,
So
hold on a second. Let me get in here.
Oh God, here comes Grim. Oh,
all I
shit.
gotta say is the simple fact of just watching anime for so long, and then if you watch subbed versus dubbed, the lost in translation that happens is ridiculous. So so the mere fact that all of this shit is translated from another language, like if you don't speak the core language, I don't even think you know what the hell's going on. Because shit just gets so lost in translation and edited and just nonsense. Like I don't think any of us know the core meaning of any of ancient texts. That's just my 2 cents and my rage.
Well, the core meaning, no. I mean, you're never going to know the core meaning. I mean, you can get like a synopsis of it, like, okay, well, if this means that, and you can kind of use your decoder ring.
But that's where the secrets lie. Idea. We don't get the nuance. We need the nuance. We're not getting it.
Here's a few examples of what I'm talking about specifically with, like, let's say ancient Rome, history of Rome.
Rome never existed.
Quintus Fabius Pictor was a member of the Senate, wrote about Rome in about 200 BCE. No works actually survive to this day. Lucilius Sinicus Alimentus wrote around 200 BCE, claimed to have been a prisoner of Hannibal. Only fragments of his work survive. Gaius Acilius, only fragments survive, wrote around 150 BCE. Cato the Elder has one surviving work called On Farming, wrote in Latin and wrote 7 books of history, but only fragments survive. Basically, when you go through and try to prove historical Rome, you find that it's literally based on fragments or people that talked about that were written about hundreds of years later, that have no surviving works and had no surviving works at the time.
But that becomes problematic in the fact that, one, the victors write history. And so if they don't want you to know about the civilization they defeated that was a threat to them, then all that history gets chucked out the window. You have things that get destroyed through not just elements of time, but natural disasters. You have, different people who want to change the history according to their narrative. And so if that chunk of history does not fit their narrative, it never happened.
Yep.
Suzanne, check your messages, please.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so the passenger pigeon thing came into play because if there was some kind of reset or cataclysm back 150 to 200 years ago, which I will say this, provably we had at least one, which was the New Madrid earthquake. Arguably, we had a few more. I know we talked about like Great Fires. I think on a few episodes back, all these major cities in the United States becoming rubbleized by giant fires in the early 1900s and late 1800s. We also have evidence of what looks like a mud flood of some kind in most of North America, and including a lot of Europe and Russia. So the question is, if those things were to have happened, would there not have been biological, consequences of something like that?
Right, it messed it up there, like magnetic north or something.
Yeah, so were the passenger pigeons really killed by humans, or is that just something that we need to say because we can't explain the event that happened 150 to 200 years ago, which probably wiped them all out at once? Now, how you build that theory is that we find more evidence of other biological things happening. I think we talked about this a few nights ago, but the fact that there's very few forests that have trees over 200 years old in this country. Almost none. There's like a handful of trees over a couple hundred years old in the United States, and certainly most of the rest of, not the rest of the world, but Russia for sure. You definitely find relatively new forests. So, is that related as well? Of course, you have, here's a really interesting one. I'll have to find some stuff and post it in the Hidden History channel, but maps of the United States.
Oh, dude, maps are ridiculous.
In the 1600s, California was, for a brief period of time, depicted as an island. Between don't get me don't quote me exactly, but I want to say, well, just as far as the years go.
They hadn't explored up here, and
That's
it
not
was a
true. I
Russian
can show you maps
colony.
from before that period of time that shows that it was fully developed map of
Oh
what is
wow,
California.
they actually had the whole map.
Yeah,
Wow.
there was a period
Well,
of
then it
time
was just
before the
somebody's
1600s.
interpretation.
Maybe. Again, when we're talking about the idea, also when you look at the detail of these maps, you'll see that there are extremely accurate depictions of the rest of the United States. And then there are maps, but then there are maps that are extremely detailed that are missing the Great Lakes. Now, let me ask you this. If you're a cartographer, do you really think you're going to miss the Great Lakes in your map? You're not going to do that. I've lived near a Great Lake. You can't miss those.
Oh, they're like oceans.
You can't see
they're
on
ridiculous.
the other side of them. Lake Ontario? Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
You can't miss Lake Ontario, especially.
Is anybody going to the history of map making, though? I mean, is anybody reading the history of this stuff to correlate with pictures? That's my
Dude,
problem.
we should do
All
a
these
map
people are looking at
episode
pictures.
or map dive. Yeah.
I mean, like I said, I don't have the
reading the
maps.
history.
I don't have maps ready right this
history
second,
maps.
but I can produce quite a few maps that I've found that
I would
are very
love
interesting.
to explore the whole concept of Pangea.
Oh, the giant
that's way back.
continent, right?
Yeah.
That goes to the expanding Earth theory.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't exist, folks.
Yeah.
But we don't know.
Yeah.
It only makes common sense.
Donnie.
Oh, dude, that's yeah.
See ya.
Kai, Donnie,
So,
Don.
what you're trying to say, Flavortown, is kind of what I've been thinking too throughout the years of doing a bunch of research and going through some personal things myself. Is like we live in like a construct.
Yeah.
In some way, the powers that be developed a way for us to view our past, to have us go through this sort of system that we're in now. This like fucking rat race.
Well, as another relation to the interview with the Grimerica dudes on Tinfoil Hat, that's what throws me off all the time. I gotta say that first. God damn it!
Get it, James.
You'll get there.
I know.
You got this.
Mel Horst, I was going to say, I don't know if it's necessarily that so much. I think there is an element of it, but
it's also nature.
Well, I think that there are groups of people that understand that this planet has a cyclical birth and death, potentially every 200 to 400 years. Like there are predictable events that happen on this planet every few hundred years that basically reset whatever you think is happening in society. I mean, nature trumps all of it.
Did you guys see that news story today about 16? NASA supposedly found 16 asteroids hurtling towards Earth.
That's such a BS
Yeah,
story,
we're all
but
gonna die.
the closest one is like the distance of the moon. Like they're all, none of them are gonna hit us. It's clickbait bullshit.
I was fascinated to find out that
That's close.
Saturn has more moons than Jupiter does. That fascinates me.
Dude, how about that one today? There was one today too that was like, Jerry, I think you posted one about like all these fucking moons out there that like no one ever, you just don't think about. Yeah.
Going back to what Flavortown said, I mean, if would you say 200 to 400 years? I mean, what are we coming up on 300 years of the existence of America or something like that? I mean, I don't know the exact number, but maybe we're due for another one, guys.
Well, and so the idea is that the previous civilization to us in the United States, let's put it this way. In our modern timeline, we would call it 150 to 200 years ago. To be honest, we don't know how long ago that was. If there was a reset like that, or, history could be quite that fabricated. I would be willing to make that exactly.
Dude, there's graves from like the 1600s.
Right. I'm not saying that there are people that didn't live in those periods of time. What I'm saying,
I know.
is,
I don't know why I'm so like this like goes against everything.
I know,
and I don't
I
want to
know.
be that way because because you're so smart. I don't want to be that way. Well, everybody here's so smart, but it's like, no,
It's
this
tough.
can't be happening. I don't know why.
I understand.
Why is
I
that?
know it's really tough to kind of shake
I guess
it, but
because of all the genealogy stuff and all the history that I've read.
yeah,
so I would just have to throw
that's
all that out the
huge.
window.
That's
you would.
huge, right?
That sucks.
Yeah.
It sucks.
I mean, I've been able to throw a lot of stuff out the window. It's like the last remaining.
I think about the
bastion.
genealogy stuff, and I think about the genealogy stuff, and I'm like, oh shit, Google owns it.
Well, I mean, there's
the Mormons own it. Yeah,
they own like 23andMe and all that shit.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Check your messages, Susan.
Oh, sorry. Okay.
Secondly, and also, well, no, it's called Tribal Pages.
Yeah.
And it's like Ancestry.com, but it is 100% free. It is free. And I use that. I traced my family back to the 13th century.
Tribal Pages.
Yeah.
But for all the people that are able to trace their lineages back to the 13th century, there are just as many people whose family lines dead end in the late 1800s.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
And
I've
what
talked
happened? You have orphans. You have so many families that adopted orphans that just gave them names. Like you say, "Oh yeah, I have this name," and you can follow it back. How do you know that you're actually related to those people? How do you know that their families were just fed with children that were abandoned by this choo-choo orphan trains that weren't seeded by these children after an event like this? Like, you have no idea. There's the paperwork, the paper trail gets so shoddy for these families at certain times. And like I said, the names are real and the families are real, but whether or not you can actually prove that the blood is real is legit is very difficult to do.
Well, I mean, what I was trying to get at was, there's a lot of people, because I've, Steve, this isn't my first rodeo with Steve Steak and Jimmy,
Old Jimmy and Steve Steak. Those assholes.
I've had.
Thank you very much. That's
I've had
really
people.
nice. Thank you.
And James knows this. I've had people write me going, "Hey, can you help me with my family tree stuff?"
Yeah.
And it's like you send them a how-to, and so I know there are untraceable trees. I mean, but in the same breath, it's like if once kind of like a pattern of how to do it, it becomes second nature.
Sure, no doubt.
I can only go back so far. My dad's side, my mom's side, I can go back pretty far, but my dad's is like he was raised by godparents, so it's really hard to, like you were just talking about. I have that weird thing. You can only go back like one or two people, and then it spurs off into like God knows what.
I just recently found out I have a half sister.
Right. And I have tons of half cousins and shit. Who knows where the fuck? Yeah.
Because it was me and my two half brothers, and we just, thought that was that. And then because that whole 23andMe thing where they do the DNA.
Yeah.
It was like, surprise, you have a half sister and she has 11 kids. And I'm like, holy crap on a stick.
Yeah, that's pretty wild.
Wow.
Yeah, like I'll never really know my dad's unless he ever does it. But I don't know. I don't even know if he knows. That's the crazy part.
Oh, man, people don't need to put their DNA out there. Don't get it.
I don't. Yeah,
I don't believe it. Even
mine just came back and it said I have AIDS. I don't know if I took the right test.
It just said, yeah.
I was like, what?
Yeah.
Oh man.
Like me.
Steve Steak sent out his DNA and it came back returned to sender.
It's very possible.
Return to sender.
I just bled into an envelope. Just put a bloody envelope in the mail. Wrote 23andMe and Sharpie on the front of it. Just put it in the mailbox. I'll get all my results.
So to tie all that up, like, it's difficult to trace certain family lines for sure. But when it comes to the idea of, resets, you look at the previous civilization because I really do think that there was a previous civilization in the United States that built a lot of the stuff that we claim to have built. A lot of what they call Greco-Roman architecture in the United States, all over this country. I'm not sure that it was built by our civilization for a lot of reasons. But if you look at the quality of the work, I mean, even if you live, even the smallest town that you can think of, well, relatively speaking, relatively small town, like maybe 5 to 10,000 people, you probably have a pretty amazing courthouse or city hall in your
Oh yeah, those things are awesome.
town. And it's probably got some kind of Greco-Roman architecture to it. It's built from giant slabs of granite or limestone or whatever. It is clearly built better than anything else in your town. And it was there before everything in your town was built, and it'll be there long after everything in your town was built. The only exceptions to that are the houses that were built around the same time. Again, huge, ornate, beautiful houses that
Hold
stand
on.
the test of time.
Whoa.
Yeah.
I know of like 150 towns in Indiana that totally just poke holes in this theory right now.
Yes, I understand that not every town in Indiana has a Tartarian mud-flooded courthouse. Yes, I understand.
It's just it doesn't exist, folks.
That doesn't exist, folks.
But you look at the quality of the work, and you can see that this was a people that cared about stuff lasting. And my thoughts on that are, the previous civilization had some understanding that these kind of events happen, and they wanted to build things that could withstand that type of reset. And that's why you also see a lot of evidence of underground caverns and tunnels and all kinds of I mean, all over the world. I mean, you name a country, we've look at Turkey. I mean, they're finding these Japan's one of them. They're finding all this evidence of these extremely huge underground infrastructures of cities. I mean, you can go even into like the Midwest. Like, there's towns in in Tennessee. What's the name of that town?
Where?
Chattanooga.
Chattanooga. Yes,
Nashville.
Chattanooga.
Mexico.
They have the whole quote unquote underground city under there, and it's and there's tunnels, there's entrances to it you can find.
Is that on a river though?
Okay,
It's a very small area of town, though. I think I know what you're talking about, Flavor Time, because I was reading an article about that too. I think it might have been the one that you posted, actually.
I think so, yeah.
There's a place similar like that.
We have that here in California at Sacramento because they had to
Underground
raise it
stuff?
because the river.
Yeah,
they had to raise it up because of the river flooded.
Oh shit!
Because there's
Everything.
places like that. There's out here in Colorado, there's Cripple Creek, where you have almost an entire city built into a mountain. I mean, I think there's places like that all over. I mean, the whole conversation to me is reminiscent of how there's pyramids in almost every culture.
Yep.
Whether you're talking about Aztec, Egypt, or it's kind of like that reoccurring theme that everybody keeps.
Take it even further with again this Greco-Roman architecture in Europe and the United States. I mean, there isn't a single major country in the world that doesn't have it from that period of time. You go to Japan, you go to India, you go to Russia.
I love China.
China doesn't actually have a ton, but
They don't have a lot. No, but
That's because they're building all their stuff right now.
They have
Their legends are
Didn't we talk
forming
about
right
that? They
now.
had like the most concrete influx.
Yeah, dude,
ever.
they've bought more. They've bought more concrete in the past 10 years than the U.S. has used in like the past 150. Like it's insane. They
got those ghost
things.
cities. Yeah.
They're building things like we need to go. Cruising with Steak goes to China. Let's do it.
God, you have cultures like that are building straight up, and when I say straight up, I mean I'm talking up, straight up. Because they have that, but we don't have earthquakes. We don't have but you find more and more, especially as of late. I mean, there was an earthquake in Las Vegas. There was an
earthquake yesterday or something.
Leonidas had an earthquake this morning, like a 2.4 in southern Indiana. Like,
there was an earthquake in northern Colorado, for Christ's sake.
Well, I mean, you have to remember though, we also live on this giant organic mass that's hurling through the universe, allegedly.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's gonna do crazy stuff and have
Spinning
like weird
around
changes.
and molten lava.
That's why it's like the climate. I'm gonna get controversial. The climate thing, I think, is just crazy. Of course, the climate's gonna change. To think that people have an effect on it is naive and that's egotistical. Like we're nothing. We are nothing on this earth. Humans will die off, and the people will still be here.
I've always argued when it comes to the whole climate change, because I'm more of a logistics guy. I mean, I don't doubt it happens naturally, but I also, on the same side of the token, think that we're not helping any. So it's not necessarily we're causing it.
Yeah.
We're just not necessarily.
Well, it's because humans are a virus. I mean, we talked about those people shitting in the grocery stores earlier. I mean, we know we're really not helping anything in this world at all.
So you go back to like the shitting in the grocery store and like the whole large organic thing, and I'm like, how do we start talking about my sister-in-law again?
Wow.
I was thinking about this earlier today, and the whole global warming thing that's getting pushed on us. What if they're telling us the exact opposite? Because they want to start spraying the atmosphere with whatever to reflect the sunlight back. So what if we're actually in a global cooling stage, and if they do spray the atmosphere, it just accelerates the global cooling. Gets us back into an ice age again.
I think it's madness. I think it's people trying to play God with the earth, and I think that.
You're gonna mess with Mother Nature.
Don't fuck with it.
There's that. You have in the next, I think it's supposed to be the next million years, the moon will no longer be in our orbit. I mean, you have the fact that the Andromeda galaxy and the Milky Way galaxy are eventually going to collide in the next.
But you say stuff like that and it's meaningless. Because I mean, I'm lucky if I got another 40 years in me.
No. I'm not saying it's meaningless. My point to it is this happens naturally.
Yeah.
Things are born. Things are destroyed.
Entropy.
That is the point.
Thank
that's
you.
That's
like he was saying the 200-year thing.
Things decay. Nothing lasts forever. Things happen.
But more so than that. I mean, you say, okay, well, the moon is no longer going to be within our orbit within 1 million years ish. But if you put boosters on that moon, that is going to accelerate the process.
Right. Well, I mean, all they have to do, they just have to keep changing the light bulb on the projector. Once they change the light bulb on the projector every, I think 100,000 years, they have to change it. We're good to go with the moon.
But that's my illustration with the fact that, yes, the Earth does this naturally, but we're not helping.
Yeah.
I mean, it's everything has its ebb and flow. With or without us, it has its ebb and flow.
Man, I found a dude's wallet at my work, from the apartment, and then for a day and a half or almost 2 days here, I lost my wallet. Where's the trade-off in that? I find a dude's wallet, but I lose mine. What the hell does that mean?
That's what that is.
But then I actually found it in my couch, so thank God.
Man. Guys, we've done a little bit of overtime tonight. I think.
Because we brought the stream down.
Yeah. Oh yeah, we did. We broke the stream for a little bit.
We broke the stream.
Yeah, that's true.
My God,
the Matrix.
Which I want to tell you, while I was trying to get into Zoom, anybody who was listening to the live stream got solo Grimsteak for about 3 minutes, just riffing, trying to keep the air alive. But it was, that was good.
You're a champion.
You are. You're a champion, Flavortown. You ripped the bong 45 times and came in here and started talking about how birds aren't real. I love it.
Seriously though, passenger pigeons. There's got to be more. There's got to be more than just passenger pigeons that died back then. You got to find them. That's going to be the key to filling out this kind of research.
I'll bring it.
Well, what you need to do is you need to find out what kind of radio wave technology, or if there was some sort of strange new technology that they just implemented around that would mess with their migration patterns or something like that.
Well,
what new tech got introduced when those went extinct?
Or what about a solar flare? What about a geomagnetic storm? I mean, what about the electric universe
when you
idea?
Talk about the electric universe.
When you get into these kind of events, I mean, you look at the Grand Canyon. That's a very common mark of people have theorized in the electric universe that was potentially created
electrical
by
scarring.
Electrical scarring. And if you had an event like that, let's say that the Grand Canyon actually wasn't formed however many hundreds of millions of years ago. It was formed within the last 500 years. Not necessarily that, but let's take that as an example. Wouldn't you say that would kill billions of birds at the same time? or at least fuck up their migration patterns
Oh
so
my
much
God,
they didn't
yeah.
know what to do anymore.
That amount of
fuck outta
power
here.
came down and annihilated the fucking Earth. Yeah. Oh my
wild,
God.
wild
Yeah.
stuff, man. It's like an AC.
And we can will it into existence because I'll bring it back around right back into Mellow Horses Inc. because I've remembered in its collective consciousness.
There
We're
we
all
go.
experiencing the same thing at one time.
Boom.
And we render what we see. So
You
then
nailed it.
everything gets recorded and
Hell
just
yeah.
like this podcast gets recorded.
Yep. And I got an iPhone 11, so I'm gay as fuck. And let's throw it over.
Turning it up to 11.
Jerry, are you
Wow.
still Jerry? I'm unmuting you right now because you're not playing a game anymore. No, I'm not. It's not working. Are you still there? You there,
Yeah.
Jerry? Who you got on next Monday tomorrow night, buddy?
Tomorrow night we have author Rachel Pollack.
Rachel Pollack. What's she write about?
No idea.
All right, I like it. Tune in. Let's find out. Let's find out who Rachel Pollack is, and then let's give a deep dive into her dreams.
I'll find out. I'll find out right now.
Yeah.
I'm sure it'll be.
Dive into her brain.
It's like can't be reached.
I'm sure it'll be a great show anyway.
It's in the
Gordon,
collective conscious.
Gordon, if anybody wants to purchase your new book, where could they find it?
Well, you just find me on Twitter. You can do it that way. I'm on a site called Smashwords. I'm also on barnesandnoble.com.
Boom. There we go.
You just type in my name, and there I will be.
And links will be in the show notes because I can
Just like
easily
I
I can add a
promised,
link
right?
like that. I could throw Gordon's link in the show note. I could do that at least.
Mm-hmm.
The least I can do.
Well, oh yeah, because when you're not doing it, I sure the fuck am. I mean, you know, I'm a promotion whore. We all know that.
Oh yeah.
No.
Yeah. I mean, I guess
got work put out there.
Flavortown.
I was just gonna say my Twitter handle was at Gordon Roop. That's all. Sorry.
Boom. No,
Sorry.
don't you ever
RUP.
apologize to me.
Oh,
but
see, you got that iPhone. You start flirting with me. What the fuck?
it's true. It's true. I've been thinking about sucking dick all night. But then we got I mean Bill, Flavortown, Mellow Horace, Suzanne.
Really do.
You guys are all great.
Get going.
I love all you guys.
Do.
Thanks.
Oh my God. Love you too.
Thanks for joining
dude.
every Tuesday night. Having this blast. Thanks for the chats. Tlam, Tim Steak, Anubis
yeah.
Rising, Leo, everybody out there. I mean, everybody. You guys are the best. You guys are the best. See you on Thursday.
Love you guys.
We're gonna have an
See you
episode of
next time.
Shonen Dump coming on Thursday.
Oh yeah,
More anime.
Shonen Dump, dude. It's on.
Get ready, brother.
Even though you guys totally aren't downloading it that much, but I don't give a shit. I'm gonna keep releasing an anime podcast.
I
Just remember that everything's up to date in Kansas City.
Yes, I don't
They've
know.
gone about as far as they can go.
I don't know what that means. Have a great night. See you next week. Good night. Goodbye.
Oh, if you could touch infinity, I think that your hand would fall. Ooh, all off. And we're gonna need all the purple in the world. And we're gonna need all the love in the world. In the race between the hare and the tortoise, I am the immortal tortoise. The immortal tortoise. Yeah. If you could think in infinity and dive into divinity, I think you'd come back in a flash with stories to tell. Coming out of your turtle shell to tell us of heaven and hell. Oh, and everything in between. Oh, and everything in between. Oh, and everything in between. timeless turtle says, love your fellow man. And the timeless turtle says, love your